Hey, hi, hello, and good afternoon. My name is Amanda, and welcome to our early edition of Woo Woo Wednesday. Once again, we are on a new schedule for Wednesday. Same time that we are live on Fridays, we will also be live on Wednesdays, which is 11 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. Yeah, standard time is, okay, daylight time. How is everybody? Go ahead and check on in. I know that we had during last live stream, there was a topic I really, really wanted to talk about. And I'm still going to talk about it, but I don't know. I just have this other better thing to talk about that's more empowering maybe than what I was going to talk about on like last Wednesday. I thought, oh, we'll talk about this. This is a great topic, and it still is a great topic to kind of explain how this world became the way it is. But what I want to talk about today is actually kind of a result of my weekend and just some big epiphanies. Again, not like mental epiphanies, but like deep inner knowings. I want to find new words to describe because I'm trying so hard, and it's a full-time job to not just default to the thinking brain, but actually getting down into the inner self, which is not, in my opinion, a part of the physical brain or the logic and reason process, because that is us using, yes, we need to use our intelligence and our ego based mind to navigate this matrix. I'm not going to disagree with that. But these deep inner knowings are not coming from a linear or even non-linear thought process at all. Hi, Michelle. Welcome, welcome. So I've been all up lately on psychic attacks, spiritual warfare, protection, all the things, cleansing and protection. And that's all still very important and part of what we're discussing today. But there's kind of a two-part thing to do. The cleansing and protecting is all great, but there's something we need to do to really make that work for us in a big way. And stay tuned because I'm getting into it today. I have lots of notes. And these are all kind of like bullet points that I can then expand on. But because the hijacking of the mind and mental process is as it is and as it has been. See that trip, can't get my words out. And they were literally, and by they, I mean just this realm is overrun by all of the astral entities right now. The astral realm, as far as I once knew it, is no longer. Yes, we still go to like a fourth dimensional playground, I guess you could say, as we dream and stuff, but the astral realm is now merged with where we're at. And that is something that I've just intuitively known. And I've heard a few other people mention something very similar, not exact, but very similar. Again, there's that seeking of external validation of that inner knowing, but the human/ego part of me is like, okay, I'm not the only random weirdo talking about this. Okay, I must be onto something. Hi Mary, welcome. B Degree is here. Yay. And I can't remember if it was the last live stream or the one before or both. It probably was both, where we were getting, and by we I mean me, getting like the thought. I'm like on this train of thought and knowing and wanting to communicate that to you, and then it just siphoned or sucked away from me. So hence the notes today to prevent all of that going on. Mostly what I don't even know. I didn't put them in any kind of format, or I probably should have done that to make this a better presentation. But you guys know me. I usually just fly by the seat of my pants and just see what happens. I would probably be a much better resource for you guys if I just get my organization together, which as a now Virgo ascendant, that really speaks to me on some level. But at the same time, with my South Node or K2 in the third house, it just needs to come out how it needs to come out, when I'm presenting it this way. And that's, I guess, the beauty of being able to edit, writing the book series that I'm writing, writing it out, and then taking that more Virgo and analytical part of myself and organizing it in a much better way. So I don't know. Maybe I can do something similar to that through my videos here or live streams. But mostly what I wanted to talk about today is about how we do cleanse and clear, and specifically to just the entities, because there's not one person that I have ever met alive in this realm that doesn't have any sort of like entity attachment or interference. Um, so much so, and this is how the entities get in is through the ego. And a lot of the times, these entities, we think they are us. They hide themselves, they shadow themselves, they, I don't know the right word, shield themselves or um, obscure themselves so much that, and so many of these entities have been so deeply ingrained in us since like childhood that we just feel like they're a natural, if not negative, but natural part of us, and they are not. And a lot of times when we're feeling big emotions, entities and emotions, they almost feel like the same thing in the physical body. And it's kind of about really finding the difference between the two, because our emotions are not us. Yes, we feel them, we process them a lot of times. Sometimes we attach to them and go on downward spirals, like thought spirals, and we don't even need to do that. As human beings, we're just meant to feel the emotions and let them flow. But a lot of times we'll attach to them, and then eventually we start attaching storylines to them. And then we get in these deep ruts, especially you'll see this in your relationships, where there are these certain things you just can't get past or overcome, or ruts you get into in maybe not every relationship, but certain relationships in your life. It's like a cycle or a pattern. You hit the same roadblock with the same person. Or if it's, in your love life and you're dating this person, you run this block, you go your separate ways, in the next relationship, you hit the same block, da 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 da. But this is about us feeling into these things, to feel them, to let them go, let them flow, and not attach to them, continually attaching to them. And of course, because so many of us, I'm 41, almost 42, have spent so many years thinking these big emotions are us or these entities are us, they've really become almost like this melted wax that is now solidified into what we think is us, or kind of the vessel with which we run in this world with. So it's almost like we're going to have to bring in that light and melt away that wax that is not us, that's filling in all the cracks and crevices. And I kind of want to try to put this in as linear as a way as I can. So let me read some of my notes here just to make sure I'm hitting my points, because I already feel myself jumping around. But this is kind of, I guess I'll just start. I'll start with an example, a story that happened to me this past weekend on, I guess it was Friday. So I have been, those of you that have been to the live streams lately, you kind of know I've been all up on protection and clearing and shielding. And before, and I've been making a practice of it and everything. And before leaving the house on Friday with my mom, she was in town to visit. Before we left, I knew we were going to be hitting a few thrift stores, which I normally get a better vibe from a thrift store than, say, like a Walmart or something like that. Just personally. Maybe you don't, but just personally. But I'm still, again, practicing putting up these shields and protections, and first clearing the energy, cleansing your energy field, picking out anything that's not yours, that's not you, sending it, recycling it back to source. I've been doing a lot of that. But so 2 examples. So first, in the thrift store, I was shopping and it was decently busy. I would say so busy that you couldn't even move in there, but it was decently busy. And hi, Linda, I got your donation. You're first on the block today once I get to it. So they're busy enough. And I noticed just wherever it was I went, it's like these people, and normal people just kind of give me space. People give people just kind of automatically personal space, within about 4 feet. You're usually not within about 4 feet of somebody that you don't know. Oh, now my mom's texting me. This must be relevant. It's 11:11. She woke up feeling like crap, aching all over, not muscle ache, more achy nerves. I'm not working today. I hope to feel better. Oh, yeah. And that's another thing I kind of want to talk about, is so many people just have these deep, bone deep aches. And I had that going on early part of last month. and on and off since, just random really bad neck pain, random really bad mid back pain, low back pain that has no discernible source. It's not like a muscle pain, it's like deeper than that. But anyway, I digress. So normally, people give you a bit of a berth, maybe not a wide berth, but they kind of let you have your personal space, right? But putting up all these shields and protections, and even in the course I was taking, they say, you have to be double aware of your surroundings because people will not see you. They will not register that you're there. So you need to, be careful. And now I can see why. Specifically women, because I was looking at this clothing, so I was running into women, in that, not me running. A lady was on top of me, like brushing up against my on my foot. She didn't even like apologize or anything. And I'm just kind of like, what's happening? Like I kind of move a little farther, like maybe she'll get the hint if I move away a little bit that maybe, hey, you're a little close, lady. And she just kept on doing it. So I left that aisle and I went over to that was in the jeans. I'm like, okay, I don't need to look at jeans that bad. So I'm gonna head over here. I went over to the like tank tops and like sleeveless type blouse shirt situations. And a very similar thing was happening there. And I was just like, what is going on? And in the moment, I wasn't like trying to analyze it or even feel into it. I was looking for some new shirts and some jeans. Like that was my agenda. So I kind of scratched my head like, this is weird. Okay, I'm just gonna bubble up again, bubble, double bubble, keep protecting myself. And I was starting to get frustrated. And those of you that have been following human design or done any kind of human design, my not self in human design, because I'm a pure generator, my not self is frustration, and my satisfaction is my self feeling. When I know I'm feeling satisfied with things, that's when I know I'm embodying my energy properly. When I'm feeling frustrated, I'm not. So something, again, this was me really feeling into it later. I did not get these memos during this whole thing. So I left the store frustrated. It was at least 5 people. I kind of lost count because I'm just like, really, everywhere I go, there you are. A guy hit me with his cart, all this stuff. I'm like, what is going on? But not enough to sit down, really feel into it, breathe into it, and ask my spirit. I'm just like, okay, get me out of here. I'm agitated. I'm frustrated. Get me out of here. So then we leave, and I'm feeling better. And the next thrift store, there's maybe 3 other people in the whole store. It's a pretty big one, so I didn't really have any of that issue at all. So I'm fine. But then I'm in traffic with my mom. I bubbled up again, and I thought, okay, it's really working because now I'm in this second thrift store, and yeah, there's less people, but it's working. So cool. And then we're driving. 3 different people pull out in front of me, and not just like oh, that was kind of rude, but like, you almost hit me, bro. Like that level. So in the car, it kind of started to occur to me that, oh yeah, I'm almost invisible. I need to be careful. It's probably best not to be bubbling up and putting in all this like shielding while I'm driving. It's probably not for my benefit. So I kind of dropped the shields, and I just intuitively brought my light brighter. I encircled my whole car. Instead of putting a bubble of protection around me, I just intuitively brought in this light of my own spirit to protect me, but not people. So very interesting how I just feeling agitated by separating myself so much. I mean, I locked my energy down in that first thrift store. And it's great when I don't want to be bothered, I guess, but at the same time, if they can't see me, they're not knowing they're bothering me, you know what I mean? So it's not even repelling them, they're just going right into it. And I'm even really intuitively, again, later on, not in the moment. Hi, Star, welcome. Hi, DW, if I didn't say hi to you. I'm in story mode right now. What was I saying? Oh yeah, like just double bubbling and triple bubbling and like put this like metallic structure around myself. And it was, again, later, I'm like, what I'm doing here is putting myself in my own jail cell. And if that, I'm not here to imprison myself further. I'm not. Me separating myself and creating this like prison of my own. Like the Matrix isn't even doing it for me. I'm doing it for myself. And again though, cleansing is very important. having your spiritual armor on at times is very important. But in your day-to-day life, I've got myself scratching my head like, maybe there's a better way. Maybe there's a better way. Because after I really brought the light of my own spirit in, things just started to flow even better to where I didn't feel like I was in defense mode. Because when you put a shield up, you're ready to take a hit, right? So you're already in this like fear-based defense mode. Again, there are times and places I do believe that we should be protecting, and it just kind of felt to me like the light of my own spirit almost just does act as that protection, because entities can't feed on that light. They need to trip or trigger something much lower than that frequency to feed off of me, right? And for all of us. But yeah, it's like I don't want to create a prison of my own. I want to be able to shine my light, and then the darkness will be repelled because they cannot consume spirit. They cannot consume pure light. They can consume something that has a dim light with all this, craziness going on around it, sure, because they're not feeding and feasting on the light. They're feasting on the darkness around the light, right? So yeah, that was like a big epiphany to me. And let me see, I have my other notes here. Yeah, cleansing and clearing and bring in your light. So that's what I was kind of missing with all this protection and, all of this was to bring in my truth. And I've been connecting with my true spirit. So yes, I'm doing it. But at the same time, then I'm like separating and imprisoning myself away. And here's a example of just the kind of opposite. And once I had this realization, I went to lunch with my sister yesterday, which was Tuesday. Yes. So from Friday to Tuesday, kind of a big shift in the way that I show up to protect myself. I went to lunch. We went to China Buffet, which is kind of one of our favorite little places to go. My sister and I, and my niece went along too. She's 15 and she's fun to hang out with. So I'm going up with my plate and I'm getting some soup and stuff. And this little girl, just the brightest little light. And oh, before I even went in, before I even left my car, I just I filled every part of me up with my own spirit, my own light, and I just let it reverberate out. I just pictured it just kind of flowing like you drop a rock in, that's my spirit really coming in to embody, and then the ripples that go out. I just pictured myself as that. And when, we went in, things were in flow. Every dish that I wanted to get a little bit of, there weren't people there or people crowding into me to get to it or anything. And it was so busy in there, but it's just like this beautiful orchestra of people weaving and knowing where to step and not step. And I'm getting some soup, and this little girl just comes up and she's like, "Are these dumplings?" Because I was getting the wonton soup. I'm like, "Yeah, they're a dumpling pretty much. Yeah, they've got this and that." And she's like, "Oh." And she's just loading her plate. Like she put like 10 of them on her plate. I'm like, that might be a little much, but I'm not her mom, so I'm not going to tell her that. But she's just asking me all these questions and just really just tuning in to, two spirits connecting. It was really beautiful. But then she said something like, "Yo soy Dora," or something like that. And she goes, "Did you hear me?" Because I didn't know if she was talking to me because she kind of turned and went. And I was like, oh, were you talking to me? She goes, "Yeah." I said, "Yo soy Dora." And I made a mental note to look up, what does the name Dora mean? It must be important. And I know that's from Dora the Explorer. And this girl was, if I had to guess, probably 7, maybe 8 at the most, somewhere between 6 and 7. So she was maybe a little old to be watching Dora like currently, but probably had in her past because a lot of kids did. My kids didn't. They weren't really involved in that. But like my niece, she was all about Dora the Explorer as a little kid. But let me see, Dora name meaning. It's occurring to me to look it up. Just I need to know what it means. A female name of Greek origin, being shortened form of Dorothea, means gift from gift, or in its full form, God's gift. Oh my gosh, I have chills. I had no idea. Oh, wow. And then in Hebrew, Dora or Dora means generation. Wow, that's so cool. Wow. I made a note to look it up, and I didn't look it up until this story reminded me to look it up. So there that is. Wow. Yeah, gift or God's gift. And just me shining my light, that literally is God's gift, right? And her just shining her light and intuitively connecting with people she feels spiritually are, someone a safe stranger to talk to. Because, I always tell my kids, don't talk to strangers, if you can help it. This little girl had no problem with that, and I had no problem with that. Um, but yeah, it's about not closing ourselves off so much from the darkness that we also close ourselves off from true spirits to connect, you know? So it is a balance of cleansing, protecting, but maybe even just using our own spiritual light as our protection. Because again, the demons and the jinn are going to run the other way from this spiritual light if you're really turning up the dial on it. They don't want anything to do with that pure light. They want the darkness around your light or kind of contained within your body around that light. They don't want that light. So the more you can turn that dial up, it does act as like a natural shield against the darkness without you having to be in defense mode. I was still open to true experiences and beautiful experiences. And yet at the same time, I didn't have people stepping on my feet trying to get to the same things as me, like I had in the thrift store when I was in my dukes up defensive mode, you know? So I want to share, you know, all these experiments I'm doing, I want to share them with you. So maybe you guys can feel into what works for you and what would be best for you. But yeah, so there's that. And another thing too, we can clear out entities. And if we're not bringing that light in, and you don't have to like go into your mind and like, well, how would I clear out an entity? The easiest way to clear out anything that's not you, be that emotions, other people's garbage, entities, just anything, is to tune into your true spirit and turn that dial up on your light. You don't have to attach to any storylines or, oh, I know this happened because of this, and then this happened, and then blah, blah, blah. I mean, we can, and sometimes that can be helpful, but when we start attaching to these storylines, that's when we can really get, you know, hooked in and create ruts in our own energy field, you know. But something that really kind of acted as like a light bulb moment for me. And again, I'm not seeking out news stories. They always find me though. And when they do, I know now there's a reason probably. And a big thing that's maybe not in all news cycles, but just something that like two people have told me. And then I saw this one YouTuber I follow was talking about this. So I didn't watch any news articles or news briefs about it. It's just the information found me other ways. And it's about how vacant homes that are owned by somebody are like being taken over by vagrants or just people who belong in these homes, but they will, you know, they notice, oh, that's a vacant house. And then again, they'll change the locks. And then you actually, as the owner, have to court system to get that property back from the vagrants, and they get like free room and board. They don't get charged with breaking and entering or anything like that unless you have like video evidence of them doing so, which, you know, people probably do now. But it acted as almost like a perfect example for how we leave our energy fields open when we're not bringing in our light to embody our full space. But when we're just, you know, going through the motions of life, reacting to this, being stressed out about that, yes, of course, that's all natural part of the human matrix condition for sure. But when we can, yes, all these problems exist, these things are going on, but then tune into your true spirit as like your number one priority, tuning into your spirit, bringing that spirit more fully online into your body, because that's what we're here to do. You know, yeah, we may have got lost in the shuffle along the way, but initially we wanted to come in, you know, bring these human bodies back to at least the original blueprint before this whole matrix system was put in place. And that happens within the body. It doesn't happen in consciousness or this or that. So just you being here is you doing that work, but you can take it a step further by bringing that spirit in to really assist you and act as almost this big spiritual barrier around yourself. Doesn't mean you'll never be spiritually attacked or, you know, have someone yell at you, or it doesn't make your life rainbows and roses, but it makes it a heck of a lot lighter. And that's another thing is, you know, anything that's uncomfortable, we will call that darkness or, oh, that's interference, that's an attack. And maybe it is, but at the same time, we're not here to be comfortable. I think each and every one of you watching right now can attest to the fact that you've had a pretty not comfortable life. We've all been very uncomfortable in just even being in our bodies, a lot of us, because a lot of us feel that deep pain, and not just pain of our own body, but like pain of our ancestry, just day to day in this world. And it's hard. It's hard to be in your body, but that's by design. They want you as in your mind and out in the ethers as possible. They don't want you in your body And by they, again, I mean these like matrix controllers, because they've already lost the plot. They've really lost the plot a long time back. But when we can get that spirit embodied, that's when they are in some big trouble. And they already are in big trouble. But it's like vagrants in the vacant home, when we are just kind of unconscious, and think of any unconscious person out there. The lights are on, but nobody's home. They are allowing, the subconscious really is like that matrix construct part of us. So when we awaken, okay, you're already miles, not that this is a race, but you're already miles ahead of just the general population of humanity. Just being aware that you have a spirit, and then take it a step further and add, like, multiple times daily, be connecting to your true spirit, bring it through. Your lights are not only on, but you're having a hopping party. Your whole spirit taking up this whole place. So no vagrant or entity or demon or what have you, nefarious intentions are gonna walk into that house and start taking over, because it's already taken. His seat's taken. It's like on Forrest Gump. It's like, he was a good kid, but like, just pretend for the sake of example that, him is like the nefarious energy looking for something to inhabit. Well, if your spirit's taking up a residence in your physical body, it's going to be a lot harder for at least new entities to come in, and entities that, and thought forms, belief systems, egregores, limiting beliefs, all the things that are not of or in alignment with your true spirit, but that are still there. The more you turn up that light of your true spirit, the more dim those things become day after day. But again, it's hard work, because it takes practice, it takes time, it takes, that's what so many of us are actually here to do, and we're distracted by all this other. Yes, there's things we have to do, pay our bills and, get our kids to school. I mean, those are kind of non-negotiables, at least as of right now in this matrix system. But that still should leave us enough time to at least be tuning in for 30 seconds here and there, here and there, here and there throughout the day to our true spirit, and really turning up that dial of our light, because that's only going to benefit us. It will make the load that we're carrying much lighter every time we do it. And it doesn't mean we won't get knocked down and go off our path, because that's just part of what goes on here, but it's going to take you being responsible, you responding to your environment, being responsible, and turning that light way up again. All right. Let me check your comments, and then I'll get back to my notes, and then we'll get into our free one card pull. And I think for today's topic on the one card pull for everybody, it's just going to be like, how can you personally embody more of your light, or, keep those entities at bay, or, whatever it is. We'll word it really positively, but yes. Hello. I've missed a few of you coming in. Hello. So Brandy Lynn is here. Hi. Amber A is here. Amber 9 in. Hi, everybody. Let's see. Oh, taking your mother-in-law for shopping and just thought to stop by and say hi. Well, hello. Tanisia's here. Divyansha's here. Florence B. Hi, Marlene. Yes, big synchronicity right now. I just came from watching a YouTube video, and he used the same analogy about leaving a house empty. Oh my goodness. Absolutely. Yeah. I noticed that it's weird, because I had thought of this and I wrote my notes out, and then, what's her name? Raylene on Roots Restored Wellness was talking about how, the home goes into disrepair if you're not there to maintain it, and then the birds get in and the bugs. And so it's a very similar, so many of us are tuning into this. I don't think that's by accident. I think this message needs to be out there. So I've heard it now, my own notes, it came through my own guidance. I got chills now. And then Raylene said that, and I'm like, yes, this is, as above, so below. And as above, I mean, as the Matrix has things planned out, with these vagrants and, people breaking in and taking over these vacant homes or rental homes or whatever. People even went on vacation and then their home was taken over. It's like, what is happening? But that is such a perfect reflection of what's actually going on in the spiritual realm. Like, major. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. You really can't. Yeah, leaving up for deterioration or destruction. Absolutely. But when your light's on, meaning your spiritual light, you're connecting to that infinite source creator that of all that is. That's constantly you maintaining your home so it doesn't fall into destruction, disrepair, and deterioration. That's you, putting up beautiful decorations and plush, rugs and amazing, comfortable furniture and dusting and cleaning it up. That's you cleansing your energy, such an analogy. And so many dreams that we have really, when we are dreaming about being in a home that's run down, which I have many recurring dreams about homes being in disrepair. And then I go through these homes and it's like they're mansions, but there's usually really dusty, like old antique furniture, or like the roof's caved in over here. Such an analogy for my own, physical energy field, because it's so true. We have gaping holes in one side, and maybe this wing of the place is really well maintained and immaculate, but over here we've got that childhood wound for that really bad thing that happened when we were 10 years old or something, that we haven't quite gotten to the root of why that's still in our energy. And again, we don't have to go on our mind spirals and tell ourselves all these stories about why, or I could have done better, or why am I such a victim, why am I still holding. No, we don't have to do any of that. We just feel it and let it go. Just like, it's that easy. I mean, it's simple, but it's not easy. It's so not easy. I've been connecting with the true, organic, authentic spirit and the outside so much. It's what is keeping me sane right now, and I feel so relaxed in the chaos around. Oh, that's so good, Amber. Gotta go. Hope I get a card. Yeah, I will. I will pull a card for you. Someone remind me though, just in case I don't. The tribe, everyone. Yes, absolutely. Good to see you, Amber. Have fun out and about. So let's see. Yeah, vagrants in vacant home, check in with your spirit. You are home. Yeah, when your spirit is turned up, you are home. There still might be other, think of you literally being in your home right now. There might be a spider out in your garage. There might be a mouse running in the field, in your yard or something. There's still things afoot, but when you're embodying your spirit and getting into your conscious flow state and connecting with that spirit, even if those things are afoot and around, they're not going to affect you the way they would if you left. Your spirit basically is checked on out because you're consciously not connecting to it, to where, oh, that one spider or that one mouse can now become an infestation because you're not there to maintain and nurture and take care of what's going on, Yeah. And this is another one. And I'm so glad I wrote this one down. And also, this leads into this next topic of your free will. Remember how we've been talking, and it's been very disheartening and just frustrating and just to know that so much of our experiences here in this matrix are easily predicted because we're all running a script. It's almost like we're NPCs in our own life. Maybe we have a tiny amount of free will, just being, an unconscious person living. But of course, when we awaken, we get a little more free will and a little more free will. And something that I wrote down is free will will become more accessible as you bring more of your spirit into your physical body, because light will trump the darkness. And then this is an analogy I used for my sister at lunch the other day, was, okay, if you just have just a spark of that light, think of a single little candle in a stadium. Think of a single candle in a stadium. Boy, it's going to be dark as ish in that stadium. But we all have, everybody who has a spirit has at least a little spark of that light embodied. But the more you work to bring that light brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter, all of a sudden, maybe not suddenly, but over time, and bringing this light in, you're now turning on floodlights in this stadium. Well, yeah, there still may be darkness. There's a shadow under the seat over here, and there's a shadow on the wall over there. But the amount of light that's here, there's a heck of a lot less darkness because you're shining those lights. And that is so much what, we can be doing. And it's funny because it's not like I prepared that analogy for her. It's just what came in. Not even in my thought process, but it's like the words, I feel it almost just rising up from the womb space. And then the words were coming out, and I'm learning this exact analogy as I'm telling it to her. And I do that sometimes on my live streams, and it's like I'm hearing this for the first time as you guys are, even though it's coming from me. It's just so fun. It's so cool. Usually that happens during your guys' readings. It's so fun though to be a witness to the information coming through from my spirit. And I'm like, yeah, that makes so much sense. Cool. So fun. But yes, and then I kind of made this little picture here to remind myself as well. So it's like, and this is an analogy I do use a lot, and I know other people use this as well, but you fill up a cup You only have so much space and room in that physical space, specifically in that cup, right? And if it's full of a lot of darkness, take a squirt of black dye and put it in there. It starts to really murky up that water. And then maybe you put some sand and there's now sediment in the bottom. And it's like, as you purify, because some of these things we do feel like are us, yes, and maybe they have attached to us in ways. And it's not like we have to push away our own darkness or kick out our own darkness. A true spirit would just alchemize that, because energy is energy, right? Alchemize anything that's yours, anything that's not yours, of course, wash it off, rinse it away, be gone with it, recycle it back to spirit. But if it is your trauma, if it is your wound, and again, you are not your trauma, you are not your wound, but it has happened to some fractal of you, even if you feel so very far removed from that version of yourself that these tragic things happen to, it's still resonating in your field. Well, that could be something that's considered yours, so to speak. Doesn't mean it's your fault, but you're now taking responsibility by turning the light in on that darkness within you that maybe wasn't your fault, but now it's your responsibility, right? Transmute that, alchemize that into something that's going to benefit you. Or, again, you don't have to analyze or go down this like process of how you do this. You just turn your light on, and it's just a natural side effect of your light being on that the shadows start to dissipate, disappear. So it's not like you have to mentally attach or go through every bad thing that's ever happened to you and check that one off the list once you've cleared that, check that. No, that's such hard work. And spirit, the natural state of spirit is simple. Maybe not easy. Let's get this clear. It's not easy to embody our spirit when we're so used to these long to-do lists and everything being a grind and difficult. And why can't things just move forward? When we're just sitting in our own spirit and embodying that spirit, that's simple. Like just bring your spirit through and sit in your spirit. That's simple. But it is not easy, because if we're not, again, ticking that thing off the to-do list or feeling like we're accomplishing something, it can feel very foreign, to someone, especially who's a very workaholic type of person, or go, grind. I have to work hard for anything to manifest in my life. Yes, in the Matrix, that is so true for many of us, right? But when you're connecting to your spirit, it's simply that, connecting to your spirit. Your spirit does a lot of the breaking loose of all these shadows and what have you. And maybe here and there you will get a glimpse of a really traumatic thing that happened that maybe you forgot about, or memories start like coming up. But something that I've been doing is, instead of oh, I got it, let me grab it, let me turn it all, look at it from all sides, all angles, let me cut it open and really examine, explore like I used to do that in my healing journey. I used to do that. But that's not beneficial. And in fact, it might re-traumatize. And that's why, like, a lot of, again, not a doctor, do what you feel, but a lot of talk therapy, especially for people who are more neurodivergent, can almost re-traumatize or keep people stuck in the trauma. But anyway, instead of, doing that, again, a lot of that comes in the brain. It's like analyzing, seeing it from all angles, investigating, going on downward, like, rabbit holes about all the things about it. Instead, just observe it like a cloud rolling by. Maybe you're watching it change shape and morph and become brighter and lighter as the trauma is now released from your body, or transmuted and alchemized, however resonates most for you. But yeah, that is such a a cup that is full of wounds will wounds, feel way through them, and feel your way through them and allow your spirit to embody that space. Because where all that darkness is, it's taking up a residence in your field, physically, etherically as well, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, all the things. It's taking up space, either physical space, mental space, emotional space, whatever. But as you bring your spirit in, maybe at first you only have this much space for your spirit, but as you turn that light up, it starts to dissipate and dismantle all that darkness and trauma and wounds and that thing that happened in that past life, that Akashic record kept event, whatever. And then that light can just embody every time you bring, and of course, you don't have to sit here and constantly be bringing in your light. Your spirit just is. You are really more in your spirit than your spirit being within you, so to speak. But when you set the intention to connect to your spirit, it's like you can amplify, amplify, amplify. So yes, it's not just like yes, it is happening just automatically. But the more you set that intention and actually connect to your spirit and just allow your spirit to even talk to you if that's something you want. Again, you don't have to attach to any stories that come up, but if you feel there are certain things you want to know to get that deep closure, of course, use your judgment to an intuition to feel into certain things. If you need to really get to the heart of something and want to analyze it, that's fine. Again, we don't need to analyze every little thing though. And just, again, it's kind of that walking that fine line of, do I need to know every little thing about this? Or, just like that curiosity, it will get a lot of us. It will get a lot of us. So tuning into your spirit will start to talk more to where you can hear it, and again, it's more telepathic than actual words. So don't get that twisted. But yeah, and then you'll have more to fill up that physical space within you that is you, the true you, which is your true self, which is your spirit. But yes, entities will attach to that pain, hate, trauma, attachments, and then the stories that you have, all the mental stories, or, well, I'm this way because this happened and blah, 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 or, well, that's just how things are in my family. These are all stories we tell ourselves. And yes, they feel very true when we're all up in this matrix. But as we start to dismantle the matrix, it's an inside job. It really is. By bringing that true light within and really amplifying it, the entities won't have as much to grip onto. It's almost like you're rounding out the edges of those cliff faces to where they don't have a grip. Maybe some of them can still get in through the little nooks and crannies, yes, because we're still in the matrix, right? But they have less of a hold. The more you can, again, I'm not going to say heal, I'm going to say peel. And it's by you just embodying more of that pure, true spirit that you are, it's peeling away all the trauma, the wounds, the false self and ego parts of you that think, this is who I am. And that's where entities will hook in and attach to most people, is through their ego. Trauma, yes. Pain, yes, absolutely. But absolutely the ego as well. Yeah, entities will attach to the ego, and then entities that are attached to you start to feel like you. That might even be when you, in alignment with your true spirit, know that I need to really cut back on sugar. And that's me. That's me. Raise your hand. That's me. And I want to start doing, again, not medical advice. This is what I'm doing. Diatomaceous earth. I have a bag of it. I want to start doing a cleanse kind of leading up to the next full moon, because that's when all the parasites and fun things lay their eggs, is around the full moon time. So I'm gearing up to start that, and I'm really feeling motivated. And it's very interesting how I hear, deep within me, oh, but you're going to miss this, you're going to miss that. Oh, those cookies, those cakes, da 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 da. That's the ego. And not so much just the ego, but the entity using the ego as a vehicle to, when you are doing really well, say, just for the sake of this example, I'm a week into my, maybe not no sugar, but like cutting way back on sugar. And I keep just feeling on the back of my tongue the taste of like a Coke or a Pepsi or something. And then that ego is like, I know we're doing this, thing where we're trying to be more healthy, but that hit the spot right now. On your way to the school, let's just drive past the McDonald's or the, convenience store and grab a quick Coke. It's not gonna hurt. It's just one day. That's the entity speaking through the ego. Your true spirit is not gonna try to get you off your path or hijack what you're trying to do that feels in alignment and in for your benefit and for your health and for your wealth, because health is wealth right now, for sure. That is your ego, and more specifically, entities working to pull the strings of your ego to get you to do these things. Again, but this is you, has this beautiful source of spirit and light, taking your power back by taking responsibility and overriding the thoughts, overriding the ideas that this ego, and by way of ego, the entities are putting into your head about sabotaging your own progress. Another thing, let's see. Yeah, when you connect to that true spirit self, that's how you will release your attachments to sugar, or to that person that never calls you back, or all these things that we feel like we need it to survive. We'll be lost without it. again, entities will attach to the ego, which will attach to these things, these people, these situations. And when you really are embodying that spirit, that's when you can, because something that's spoken about a lot in like the new age community is like detachment. And yes, a lot of times detachment, when you tell somebody, oh, don't attach to that, what's the first thing they're going to do? Well, they might try at first to, push it away, but then what we resist persists, right? So it's almost like, you know, trying to tell somebody, that can, because there are people that can't see pictures in their own mind, but that's like telling somebody, picture what an oak tree looks like. Or wait, I messed that up. Picture, don't picture. I don't want you to even think about an oak tree ever again. Don't picture that water bottle. Don't look at it, don't think about it. Or, the color blue. Think about any other color except blue. Well, the first thing you're going to think about is blue. So it's almost like you're in resistance, so it almost draws you in, right? So it's almost like instead of, trying to practice detachment from this, detachment from that, and especially these addictions, because so many of us are addicted to, checking in on social media or food or, drugs, alcohol, all the regular addictions. But then there's other addictions that are now set, and that is just having to hit that dopamine fix of, let me pick up my phone and see if I have a new email or a new like or a new whatever. That is such a, we like really lean on that, and then it becomes an addiction, a habit, and then an addiction. So it's like, instead of just trying to kick the addiction to the curb on a physical level by, well, I'm not driving through that drive-through to get that soda or whatever it is. Instead, I mean, yes, absolutely work in the physical realm, because that's where the real work gets done, but we cannot forget that spiritual work, or energetic work that needs to also go into breaking these addictions, right? Yeah, and let's see. Yeah, so anything you're looking to clear your energy, to cleanse yourself, especially like entities that are attached, and they attract, like I wrote down here, they attach to the pain, hate, trauma, attachments, and even the stories that we can tell ourselves about who we are, about who that other person is, or about how the world is. We can all get attached to these specific stories. But when you embody more of your spirit, all these not self things that are not you start to fall away, just as by default. So it's not like we're going to battle against something. Instead, just turn up that dial. Again, it's simple, but it's not easy. Turn up the dial on your spirit, and as a natural side effect, these things start to shake loose and dismantle on their own. So it's like going within, connecting to your true spirit, and again, it's already there. You're already connected, but the more it's like a relationship. You got to work at it, because it's a relationship to yourself, and that is the most important relationship you're in any incarnation, is the relationship you have to yourself. And then secondary, your kids, your spouse, your family, your whatever. But that connection to your actual self, your true self, your spirit, is your connection to God or source or the creator or whatever you call that energy. That is your worship, your reverence for the divine, is by you connecting and loving and bringing more of your true self online into a physical body. That is your worship. That is your church. That is your religion. Not saying it should be or it has to be, but that's kind of the direction I'm going. And again, when you say things like that, it sounds very egotistical. Like loving yourself is you loving God. You say it out loud like that. And so many of us have been so programmed, especially those of us that grew up Christians and stuff. That can sound almost blasphemous or just so narcissistic or even maybe psychopathic. But really, they've inverted everything. Giving our power to some God sitting in a chair in the sky, or whatever that looks like in different religions, it looks slightly different. And all these even archetypes and gods, goddesses, deities, just giving our power, praying to them. Again, the word pray and pray, Pray, Prey, they sound exactly the same. The spelling, I mean, it's not lost on me. Spelling, casting spells with words. But yeah. Any questions, any thoughts, any ideas? Yeah, detox. Dandelion tea is a detoxifier. Absolutely. Yes. all resonates. It's more about breaking off things from us to let our soul show through. Yeah, not necessarily adding more. That's what I think about when I drink my dandelion tea. I love it. Absolutely. Yeah, sugar. And they say sugar is as addicting, like in your brain, or if not more than like hard drugs. Yeah, like those really addicting hard drugs. Sugar is just as, if not more, addicting than those drugs. And it's not even us making that conscious choice that, I think I'm going to have that Hostess cupcake or, whatever it is. They put, like we've talked about, they put sugar. I mean, ketchup is mostly sugar. Things you wouldn't even think, like a can of refried beans on the shelf, mostly sugar. And not like the glucose type sugar that it converts to when you eat it. I'm not talking that kind of sugar. I'm talking like all these, and they have like, I don't even know, a list of 50 different names. It may not be that many, but just for sake of whatever. They don't just say it contains sugar. It says high fructose corn syrup, fructose, I can't remember any other ones, but like off the top of my head, but like, you get the memo. Like all these things you can't usually pronounce are either a form of sugar or some sort of preservative or additive that is not beneficial for our health. But this stuff that we buy like in a can or in a bag on a shelf at the store, most of this is just inundated with sugar and of course other things our body doesn't want, but there they are. But so many of us are like now addicted to those things through no like conscious choice of our own. But again, all by design. Oh, we could talk it forever and ever about it. But instead of that, let's get into the one card pull for everybody who's here. I'm going to start with Amber just so I don't forget. But we're kind of framing this as, and I'm going to put a timestamp for her, 5150. 5150, Amber 9 in. I know we have a couple Ambers here. So, all right. Everybody else that wants a card, put a 555 in the chat. That will let me know you would like me to pull you a card. Excuse me. All right. So this is just kind of for all of us as a collective. Yeah, it's about feeling left out. Like if we are kind of bringing that spirit in and maybe certain relationships are starting to fall apart or dissipate because they're just not in alignment with our spirit. Or, that connection we once had to all that sugar. Now we have to find new things to eat. There is a bit of a grieving process that can go into that, or feeling like, well, I'm missing out. I'm here to experience this world and now I'm missing out because I'm calling my spirit in. I get it. But like, I think so many of us, especially if you're over, say, the age of 30, 40, we've experienced a lot of things. Those of us that have, we've experienced a lot of these things. And so many of these things don't even feel good to us anymore. But like, again, certain foods, processed foods specifically, sugary foods, are so, it's not like we want them, like they feel like when we eat them, we feel good eating them. A lot of us don't. It's just, again, that entity attachment into the ego, matrix attached to the entity, attached to the ego, attached to the, let's make this happen. Doesn't feel good, though, for many of us. But anyway, Amber 9 in. Let's get your card on how you are bringing your spirit online. How is Amber bringing her spirit online? Wow. Well, as you bring your spirit online with the 6 of Cups here, you are clearing childhood trauma and even past life trauma, or past, the things that are kept in the soul of this matrix, meaning the like Akashic records. You're clearing a lot of that debris, darkness, trauma, resentment. You're clearing it out. And you're now, as a result, resurfacing good memories from your childhood. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Amber, we kind of got this vibe in a reading about, instead of just going right to the trauma of your childhood, you're going to start to remember the good things that happened, or really be the first things you think about when you think of your childhood is the good things, not all the bad things. I think that was you. Recently, we kind of got, maybe not that exact message, but a very similar message for you. Very cool. All right, so Tunisia is the next name I see. And of course, if it looks like I've skipped you or something, sometimes I see things in a slightly different order. Being called to really shuffle these up. And this is the lovely ladies tarot we're using today. So even the masculines in this are feminine energies. But a lot of times when we think about tuning into our spirit, it feels like I'm just sitting there doing nothing, right? But no, we're receiving. Our bodies are receiving more of our spirit. I mean, it's already there. Obviously, it's already there. But we're just saying, I'm consciously turning up the dial to receive more of my spirit. again, using that tiny little sliver of free will that most of us do have. Although I will argue there are people out there that have no free will. They're just completely controlled, completely asleep, unconscious to what's even going on. And even us that feel pretty darn awake are still very unconscious to the greater reality that's actually playing out here. But, as we call on our spirit, as we, use that little bit of free will that we do have, even if we don't understand the picture, we'll start to see more of it. All right, Tanissia, let's get your card. How to bring more of your spirit online. Ooh, the world. So you're closing out some cycles. And another thing you can associate, and it's such a beautiful card. Isn't this stunning? Oh, she's stunning. Travel. Get out there. See new things. Experience new things. Try new foods. Go new places. This is a great way to bring your spirit online because we really get into this almost like present moment state, or I got chills now, almost like childlike sense of wonder of just innocence and purity of our childhood before it was all tainted and taken away or changed. Traveling can be one of the best ways to get in touch with that inner child because everything is new. I mean, look around the room or, wherever it is that you're at. If this is someplace you've been a time or two, and if it's especially if it's in your home, you've been there a lot. Things just start to blend and morph into the background. You don't even see them after a while. And that's why clutter can start to add up because you just don't see it after a while. Don't see it until you do. And then you're like, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed. But when you go somewhere new, everything's new. So you're like, ooh, shiny, ooh, pretty, ooh, cool. Wow, look how big that is. Oh, that's so cool. You're in this more flow state. So get out and travel, even if it's just in your regular area and maybe you walk this one certain path, but instead you're going to go across town and walk this other path. It can be as simple as that. You don't have to spend a bunch of money and do all these things, but there's something you're definitely closing out as well, Tanissia. So a cycle you're closing out, maybe even a relationship you're ending, and it could be a relationship with food, a relationship with your cell phone, and again, it doesn't have to be that you completely end the relationship. The cycle within it that feels like a rut, that's what's closing out. Okay. Brandy Lynn, how's Brandy Lynn bringing more of her spirit online? Ooh, the Knight of Wands. Okay. So you're feeling maybe more spontaneous with certain things, but also just ready to, you might just hear the word go and you're like, okay, let's go. This could be just epiphany type things that are coming in and you just intuitively are being guided to know that next step because there's movement in the Knight of Wands. Being able to move forward. And even if right now you don't know, well, I don't know my next step, I don't know my next move. But your spirit, the more you bring that spirit online, light it up and shine, you're going to start to really know your next step, then your next step. And again, spirit-led with the wands, being very spirit-led with your next step. You're not just reacting to what's around you. Maybe you're responding. Okay, well, I just got invited to this party. I'm going to respond with a yes or a no. Or, not just reacting and feeling like you're tossed to the waves of life, but you're going to really start embodying this just clear sense of knowing in what your next steps are. Cool. Yeah. All right, Linda H. And we have the sun. So maybe your connection with the sun, again, be safe. I know it can burn some of us out there. But your connection with the sun, and the sun does represent the soul, solar, but spelled differently, right? Soul, in your birth chart, right? And in the luminaries, the sun is the giver of all life. It is the light. So bringing more of your, just literally shining your light is going to really make, any clouds disappear. The clouds are dissipating, the sun, it's all coming out, the flowers are blooming. By you stepping into your true light, you're just feeling more yourself. And especially, Linda, if you've been feeling off or not really yourself lately, or maybe it's been years since you've truly felt just this embodiment of joy, pure joy. And I also associate the sun with childhood. This childlike sense of wonder, of innocence, of purity, of just curiosity and going through life in a very open way, shining your light. That's going to bring you a lot of happiness. All right. Marlene, let's get Marlene's card. And of course, when we're done with these, we're going to head right into Linda's 2 1-card questions. Oops, wrong. I'm going to log in over here. I'm not logged into my email, and I want to be able to not have to toggle between tabs over here. So get the right email. I was trying to log into my business one. PayPal goes to my other one. So take me. Oh, no. Go back. It always tries to not let me log into my email because it's like, this is unsecure site. Well, I don't know why. I know the risk. Take me to my email anyway. All right. Marlene. Bringing her true spirit in. Ooh. When you connect to someone else on a deeper level than just, hey, how's the weather out there? Well, maybe you can get into a deep spiritual discussion about the weather. Who knows? Maybe that's where it starts and you finish it somewhere else. But this is about really seeing the people in your life, really connecting to the people in your life in a deeper way. Maybe even it's not even using words, but you're just hugging someone. Instead of a 5-second hug, maybe you're doing a 10, 15, 20-second hug just to share the love, But this is about a need for deeper connection that your spirit will be facilitating. As you bring more of that spirit online, you have no choice but to connect even deeper with the other spirits in your life. So really beautiful message there. I understand the risks. Take me there anyway. It's like it cannot compute, does not compute. So many weird things. Mercury retrograde. All right. DW, let's get your message, how you're connecting with your true spirit, bringing it more online. We have the 5 of Cups. It's about shifting a focus. Instead of focusing on how negative, bad news, all those just crazy things. Again, it's not about spiritually bypassing. If you have a legit issue in your life right now, of course, face it and deal with it. But maybe you're just seeing it almost like a hanged man energy I'm getting with this is seeing things in a new way. We're shifting, this grieving, sad energy that I might be feeling. What is this trying to show me? What is this trying to teach me? And again, maybe just asking your spirit, what is it I'm missing here? What am I not seeing? But you're shifting your perspective. Maybe you're even allowing your emotions to flow. She is crying and she's kind of sitting in a river or a lake of her own tears, it almost feels like. So there's a big emotional release that will come in as a result of, allowing some of the denseness of these more shadowy parts of ourselves. But for you specifically, DW, as you allow yourself to just feel, process, you don't have to attach and think, well, that happened because I did this, or he said that, or she did that. Just allow yourself to feel whatever it is that's coming up without, again, attaching to it. Allow those emotions to flow on by like the clouds. Feel them. Obviously, allow yourself to feel them. If you're feeling like crying or just grinding your jaw or punching a pillow, allow yourself in a safe way to get these emotions out. Feel them. Let them go. Again, you don't have to attach any stories to that. Yes, please take me. Take me. I want to continue. Okay. All right, so that was for DW. Let's get Michelle's message. How's it going, Michelle? All right, Michelle. What does Michelle need to know? Bringing her true spirit online. What's that going to look like for her? Ooh, King of Swords. Literally, most likely speaking your truth. There might even be a relationship where you feel like you have to pander or cater to this other person or just kind of let them, by default, be the one to choose, what restaurant you go to or, what you do with this, what you do with that. This is just really about embodying what it is, speaking into being, maybe even kind of almost talking out loud to yourself or in your head if that feels more comfortable. But a lot of times when we have a thought that we want, like affirmation type thought in our head, that's powerful on its own. But when we can speak that affirmation out loud, like especially if you're looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I love you, or something like that, or I'm amazing, I have my dream job, whatever it is. Sometimes just speaking it out makes it more tangible because you can actually use more of your senses to get a grip on it. So by bringing more of your spirit online, you're going to be able to speak your truth to people in your life, especially those that you almost feel like you have to kind of hide your feelings or back away. You're just going to be able to, as a side effect of bringing more of your spirit online, Michelle, actually speak to them from your heart. And without, again, you're doing it in a tactful way to where you're not hurting feelings, but it's like so many people are like hearing the truth in your words and almost like changing their ways because you're standing up for yourself in certain ways. And it can't even be with that King of Swords message, Michelle. It's like you're standing up to your own ego almost as well. Wow, pretty powerful. Oh, so accurate. I donated. Oh, cool, DW. Awesome. Well, we'll get into it very soon here. All right. So Florence, let's get Florence a card. How's she bringing more of her spirit online? Florence has 3 cards. Holy cow. Wow. Okay, so something is definitely ending that has been standing in your way. So this is maybe even some self-sabotage or just feeling like life is really not lining up or aligning and going your way. Any thoughts like this, you're starting to see a way out of anything that feels very dark and dire, or there's an end in sight. But this ending ends with you having this sense of recognition, reward, happiness. And this isn't even as a result of your past hard work. This is just like luck is finding you. Luck is finding you, and this has got a very Aquarius energy here. She's pouring out this pitcher of water, very like water bearer, almost like star energy here. But I always call like the 9 of Cups the lower octave of the star, so I can see why they kind of use that as the depiction here. But then you have the Page of Wands, which is about like really good epiphanies, ideas. Again, spiritual downloads, not thoughts. That's more of the realm of the swords. The wands are more the epiphanies and internal knowings from your spirit. So as you call your spirit on or in, you're going to see the ending of something that's been holding you back from your happiness, from your abundance, from your wish fulfillment. And that will then pave the way for a new beginning where you're really listening to your inner knowing and your intuition, which is such a like navigation system for us here in this world. Our intuition. And when we can fully trust that intuition, or at least partly trust that intuition, we're halfway there, because so many people will get these intuitive hits or downloads and ignore them because of like, no, I need to see what so-and-so says, or, have this guy tell me that, or you're just knowing without knowing how you know that you know, but you know. Very cool. Very cool, Florence. Oh, you loved your message. I'm so glad, Marlene. All right. Aw, you're most welcome. Absolutely. All right. So it's still asking me to resend. How many times? Okay, I guess it was that many. How many that was? It was that many times. Okay, so Linda, go ahead and post your first question. We're going to get right into it for you, my dear. All right. So I'm planning for Friday. Of course, if anything else comes up in the meantime, I will write it down. I will jot it down. But Friday, we are going to talk about NPCs. And in fact, all of us, in a way, are NPCs. But there are some that are more NPC-y than those with spirit. Hold on. You'll learn more on Friday. All right. So question 1. Let's see. So Linda, I'm going to add these 2 donations to the list here. So, DW, I have your donation for a 1 card. 1 card. And we also have a donation came in right after that for, drum roll please, Florence. All right. Full question, full reading for Florence. Okay. Boom. Boom. Okay. Now, let's focus in for Linda. My son had to sublease his apartment for summer, and he's feeling bad for current roommates. He had a sublease to a stranger. Okay, gotcha. Will the new roommate jive with the other roommates? I am already seeing it being at least neutral, if not, like, I'm seeing, like, standing around laughing. Like, there's at least a rapport. So it's not like they're like, who is this stranger in our house? Maybe at first. But I would say there's nothing for your son to be like feeling bad about eventually. I'm almost feeling like one of the roommates is really gonna vibe with this person and actually become like lifelong friends. So in a way, I got chills now. So in a way, your son followed his intuition, and there's a really good connection being formed between one of the roommates and this person that your son has subleased to. So at least one, if not the group. But let's just see anything Linda needs to know. Hoping Mason would would gel with the new guy. Okay. Yeah, let's see. Let's just see how the roommates, like, as a whole, are going to be taking initially, like, their initial reaction to this person. Okay, 7 of Swords. They might be feeling like, why didn't he at least get someone we know? that might be where they're at now or what have you. But again, I see this lifting very quickly once they actually meet this guy or know this guy. If they've already met the guy and they're kind of like, okay, whatever. Again, they're going to break loose of any, break the ice, so to speak. They're going to break the ice and they're going to be like, oh, this dude's actually kind of cool. And then as time goes on, they're like, we like this dude, or at least one of them really likes this dude, like really like lifelong friend energy. Yeah. Because this guy, whoever the stranger is, he brings a balance to the house that maybe wasn't there before. He feels very down to earth, but he can tune into that more emotional side. But he doesn't like wear that on his, like, not like he's wearing his emotions on his sleeve. But there's somebody in the house that really needs this energy in their life to where they can almost like feel like it's okay to be themselves when they're home. Where maybe the other two or however many roommates there are. For some reason, I feel like there's 3 roommates. I don't know if that's accurate. If that's not accurate, maybe it's just the fact that this new person makes 3. I'm seeing the number 3. But the other roommates, it might even trigger at first, but it's like now things are good, like balancing out. Yeah, Knight of Swords. And I don't know if this person's younger or just brings this kind of lively, and I'm not saying lively like, let's go out drinking. If that's going on, whatever. But that's not the kind of liveliness this person is bringing. This is more of I'm not even going to say immature because that's not exactly what I'm trying. It's more like this childlike, but not in a irresponsible, immature kind of way. Just like fun, like laughing at fart jokes, like that, like very innocent kind of vibe. Yeah. Mason would gel with the new guy, and Tulia felt same, that one was going to gel with him and the other's cordial. Yeah, I mean, at very least there's like a neutral, like I'm not going to glare at you when you walk in, but I might not be your best friend, but there's one of them that's really going to take to this person. Oh, you missed the free card. Well, I can still pull you one, Amber. Just put a 555 and I'll pull you one between Linda's questions because I know you were here for most of this, so I got you. Yeah, okay, I feel the same. Feeling more outgoing, but not in a party type way. Yeah. So this person, though they might be more on the like childlike sense of wonder spectrum than the let's go get effed up kind of. Yeah. But there's 3. There's the connection I was feeling, and this is like soul family. Like I can share like my deepest, darkest secrets with these people kind of vibe. So at the very least, this person's vibing with one of them, if not the group. And again, it might not be overnight at first, especially with a few of them, but yeah. 4 in the apartment, but 1 is usually away. Okay, that makes sense. Right. Yeah, I hope he feels better because there's nothing really to worry about here. And he did what he had to do. I mean, he's got to do what he's got to do. Yeah. I advanced through my own abilities. Yeah, he trusted himself to, well, even if at the time he felt a little desperate, like, I just got to get someone in there because I don't want to have to pay for this when I'm not there. I get it. But his abilities, he advances through his own abilities. He trusted himself and he went with who he went with. And he should trust that that was the right move because it was. It really was. So yeah, absolutely. Well, I hope that gives at least you, and if not, hopefully your son also, the peace of mind. Yeah, I was feeling desperate and just did it. Yeah. I feel like things will be all right. So absolutely. Yeah, there's a connection here deeper than just yeah, how's it going? Okay, hi, bye, see you later. God, that guy annoys me. It's much deeper than this. So awesome. At least with one roommate, and then the others at the very least are neutral to tolerant, if not more cordial. And hey, yeah, I love hanging out with you. You're fun. What other stories you got for us? Yeah. All right, let's get Amber a quick card on how to bring her spirit online. And we have the 8 of Wands. So you're already there. You're already really in this practice state of having your spirit really at the forefront of what you do and how you show up in the world. And so many of you here on the channel are already here. So I'm not saying that, so many of you are so behind. No. But Amber, you're already really showing up for yourself. And, on this card, it might be hard to see, but she's got like some stretch marks and she's doing what's best for her. And to me, it's like most of us that have had kids or, women, that had growth spurts as teenagers, we've got stretch marks. Like it happens. So it's about embracing the parts of us that maybe we at one point kind of shunned away from or buried or hid away under clothing. In this case, she's hiding it under clothing. And it might even be you, like if you're kind of self-conscious about showing up like at a beach or a local swimming pool or something because you're self-conscious about your body, just show up and do it. Of course, be as comfortable as you can in your swimwear, but just show up and do what's gonna light you up. And if swimming is something that you've kind of been pushing away because you're like, oh, but I got to roll over here, a scar over there or whatever, show up. Just do it. Just do it. All right, definitely do. There you go. Yeah, you're already so connected, and just turn that dial up even more, even more, even more. And check in with that spirit part of yourself multiple times a day, and that'll really amplify that for you. Awesome. All right, tuning into Linda's next question, tuning into Linda's true spirit. So Q2, going through stressful time. What is the number one thing I can focus on for my highest good right now? Yes, let's tune in for Linda. And I'm really kind of going back to, I got chills now, back to the question, the card for your question. The card for your bringing your spirit online. I'm going back to that about maybe just not feeling like yourself right now. And that could be, yes, the sun. It could be just about, bringing more of your light on is literally what's going to help this darkness or sadness or stress and just not feeling quite yourself, or like you can, like if you are stressed, but still kind of feel like yourself, but just not as strong as you want to be to get through these stressful times. Again, calling on your true spirit, that sun card. But let's just see what comes through in addition to that sun card, because this feels like a kind of addition to that. Oh, and we had another one fall. Where did she go? Oh, and of course my kids were in here. I wondered. All right. So the Chariot. Look at that. And it's interesting how she is in a wheelchair here. And of course the Chariot's usually like a like pulled by two horses, or not horses, but this is feeling like you can't do as much as you're hoping to. Because I'm sure if in a perfect world, this woman would be able to get up and just dance around, prance around, walk around, and maybe for some reason she can't. So there's something that's stressful that you feel like, why can't I just fix it? If I could just fix it, this would be perfect. This would be fine. I would feel more in control here. But it's like you're feeling a loss of a bit of control in whatever the situation is. And then with the Three of Wands, this is about finally being able to regain some semblance of control, even if it's not like full control over the situation, because we can't, especially if it involves another person, we can't control what other people are doing and the people attached to them are doing. And but with this Three of Wands, this really is about, the Two of Wands is about making the plan, and the Three of Wands is actually seeing that plan come full circle or come to fruition. Oh, your son's health issues, doctor's appointments, the unknown. There we go. Well, there's success and victory. You might even be getting a second opinion because of, the Chariot is kind of two options. So if you only have one opinion, maybe getting that second opinion can really ease that peace of mind. Yes, because son's health issues and no known cause, feeling like we can't do anything until we figure it out. Right. And of course that sun is, the sun, S-U-N, and then S-O-N. It sounds exactly the same, spelled differently. So it's like he is the light of your life, and you wish you could take all the pain and sadness and unknowns away. This makes so much sense. Yes. And because you are his mom, and of course he's over the age of 18 now, but because you are his mom and you birthed his spirit into this realm, there is a light of protection just by you connecting to his, spirit and your spirit. It's like you have a connection. But yes, I got chills. So you just covering him in your spirit light, your love, your protection. Again, not protection in a kind of protection, but just I'm embodying so much love that it's leaking into him, and that's protecting him from anything that might be. And if I remember correctly, oh, Stephanie, go ahead and put a 555. That'll let me know that you would like a card. Yes, absolutely. And welcome, by the way. Trying to remember. Yes. Back to that reading. I didn't remember, but like Spirit's bringing it back up for me. This is about I didn't tune into anything nefarious. It was more like his response to the energetics of what's going on. But because him, and now by way of him, you are kind of in this state of stress, that kind of does, again, Matrix is a quite an operation of, ooh, let me create the opportunity for something, or even if I didn't create this opportunity, I now see an opportunity to come in and glom onto something or siphon. So as a result of the stress that this situation with his the seizures and things, that that's the one thing I know that's been going on. But if he's got other health things going on, of course that can be stressful. And of course, when we aren't feeling full health, that really does open the door in some capacity energetically for entities to come in. So you, as mom, can come in and get to the, just with the spirit. And again, you don't have to go on this downward spiral of, okay, I think it's this. Just as his mom, whatever it is that's causing these seizures, it's dissipating. You're watching it crumble and fall away. And even if it's just these higher vibrational energies coming in that are causing it, your light can help him take these energies better to where he won't have that effect of the seizure as a response to these frequencies coming in. But at this point, I do see a bit of, entity kind of coming in. But again, this is nothing to be afraid of. Entities are in this realm, like they're everywhere. So this is not anything new or too scary. Just bringing and filling in more of your own spirit and, his spirit will help like dispel it. Yeah, 5 of Swords. So it's like the worry is almost unnecessary at this point, but there are points where these entities are getting in. But again, with that light, bringing your light on full bore, like to help, you're going to start to see things much better. So far, test normal, hasn't had another in the past 2.5 weeks. Yeah. And you might actually be seeing the end. I know it was a long card pull, but you know me, I can't just do one. Let's just see if there's any other seizures in the near future. 5 of Wands and the Knight of Wands. Okay. So if there is anything in the future, again, he's going to be able to move through it very much with ease. Again, it's concerning when this type of stuff happens. It's scary. It's concerning. But I don't see, and again, clearing out that interference by anything trying to attach to this kind of stressful situation will just allow him to be able to finally move forward, because this is forward momentum. And then the outcome with Linda can really shine her light and help kind of clear out energy with him. And I don't know how your relationship is with him, if he understands about this energy stuff at all. But maybe even just telling him, even if he's not like on board with all the spiritual talk, just say, literally picture your own spirit lighting up like a light bulb, and that will keep this, out. All right. Or keep it from happening. Okay. And 2 of Swords. Yeah. And this really is, it's more up to him to, yes, you can send your light and your love and all that to him, but it's going to be up to him to ultimately allow that light to come in and shine to help him, or what? Oh, you did energy healing on him. Okay, there you go. So he's already open. That's going to really help. But yeah, this is a very confusing thing for him. It's confusing that, why is this even happening? The doctors can't even tell me. So how am I supposed to know? So outcome of Linda shining her light and having her son really shine his light, really bring that spirit on, closing out of the cycle. Yep. And when this card comes up, I do have to say there is a bit of travel. Oh, Queen of Swords too. So if there's anywhere he wants to travel, that could help cut it out. Because with this Queen of Swords, it's like cutting cords. Cutting or, removing is more accurate to the point. But, just for the sake of it, cutting cords, speak it into being is something I always say with the Queen of Swords. But the world, that's an ending. Cycle is ending. Yeah, that would be perfect. Yeah. Plan a family travel in May. There you go. And it's weird. It's really weird how travel is almost like, I won't say it's a cure-all because, whatever, but travel really does open up new opportunities. It closes old cycles. It really does help. It really does. And I don't know how I can really explain that on a conscious level, but it does. It really does. Yes, he feels like he's in limbo, just waiting for the next incident. Right. There you go. Oh, I'm so glad it helps, Linda. And this is nothing you didn't already know. So you can thank your own intuition for knowing a lot of this stuff. You've already done the energy stuff. You've already been showing up for him in the way that this reading has said that you're able to. So just keep doing it, and even brighter, you got this, and he's got this, because there is an end. There's an end in sight with that World card coming out. All right. Big hugs, Linda. Big hugs. All right. So DW, you're next, my dear. Go ahead and post your question, unless you posted it in the PayPal. I don't know if you did or not. Sometimes people do, sometimes people don't. And then Florence, you're on deck. So if you didn't post your question, you can do that. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, and we have another donation. Okay. So am I connected to a good spirit? I know that's a weird question. No, not a weird question at all. Not a weird question at all. Oh, send another donation. Okay. So did you want to make this question a bigger reading, or did you want to have 2 1-card questions? Well, they're never 1 card. You know me. Just slightly shorter readings than the big full read. Let me know what you want to do. You probably already did put another question in, but sometimes people are like, ooh, actually, I want a deeper read on that 1-card pull that I paid for. So here's another 1111. So people do that sometimes. Wouldn't be the first time, but let's see. All right. Yeah, 2 1-card readings. Perfect. So you can go ahead and post the second question in. I'm actually going to get Stephanie's card real quick before I forget. I don't want to forget Stephanie. So Stephanie, I hope you're still here. And the question we posed in regards to kind of the first, 45 minutes to an hour that we went and talked about just really embodying our own spirit even more will protect us and make it so a lot of these entities and bad habits and just things that are not us will start to slough away. So let's just see how Stephanie is bringing more of her true spirit online, or any advice from her true spirit. King of Cups. Yeah, emotional balance. So there might even be some emotions that are coming up for you as you embody more of your light, more of your spirit. Some emotions are coming up, and don't feel bad. Don't feel like, God, I thought I had this dealt with and now it's back. You don't even have to go down that like thought spiral about, okay, well, this happened to me and then I said that to him and then, we can do that. And if it feels right to do that, then please do that. But don't get lost in the sauce, so to speak. Just allow yourself to feel whatever's coming up and picture your spirit alchemizing it. It can be as simple as that. Again, simple, but not easy. We think, oh, it's simple. I'll just do it then. If it were that simple, we would have done, or if it were that easy, we would have done it already. So it's simple, but it's not easy. It's simple. Oh, allow myself to process. Thank you so much. My grandma, she passed, but we look so much alike. That was okay. Gotcha. That's your question. All right. So Stephanie, I hope that resonated. Yeah. You're bringing those, as you bring your spirit on, there are some old emotions that are kind of dusty and, shadowing up your energy a little bit that are coming up. Allow yourself to feel them without that deep sense of attachment to them and let them go. All right. Big hugs. All right. So DW's first question. Let me cycle back. And then Florence, you're on deck, my dear. And then the second question for DW will be after Florence. Okay. So am I connected to a good spirit? I know that's a weird question. Okay. So here's something I want to caveat your question with. You're so welcome, Stephanie. Absolutely. So even if we have at one point connected to a good, true spirit, and we've vetted them, we've given them, I'm connected to my friend or my grandma or whoever passed, so to speak. Or if it's a spirit you met, in your house, it was a haunted house or something, and you befriended a spirit like the girl in my book did. I'm writing a book series, and this is kind of the beginning parts of it. How do we know that's a good spirit? A. And B, how do we know that every time we do connect to that spirit, that it's the same spirit and not some trickster, knowing that, hey, DW connects to this spirit, so I'm going to show up as this spirit, same look, same feel, same whatever mannerisms, to trick her into thinking that I'm this spirit. So each time you connect to anything that is not you, make sure you're setting intention to only connect to the true spirit of that whatever person or whoever it is every time that you connect. If you feel them connecting into your energy, which happens a lot as well, again, before you connect in with them, or, complete the connection, set the intention, or, vet that out intuitively, that, okay, am I connecting with the right thing? All right, but let's get to the question at hand. Am I connected to a good spirit? For DW, is DW connected to a good spirit? All right, we have the Hierophant and Eight of Wands. Okay, it's interesting because I see that the spirit you're connecting to is a true spirit that is guiding you in some way. But the Hierophant, a lot of times I do connect to like only like the matrix system, not so much in alignment with true spirit. Even if this spirit is giving you good advice or wisdom, or, downloads or whatever that have purpose behind them, I still feel if it's not the spirit itself, there might be another spirit that's using, just like we were saying in the example, I really was feeling that would to be the case. Like there's either another spirit or group of other spirits that sometimes will put on the mask or face of, again, even if you don't see this spirit, but you more just intuitively feel it, that's okay. But again, just be vetting out, not only because I had a huge, let's see, from 2016 to the end of 2022, I was in connection with someone I called Archangel Michael, who set me very lovely synchronicities and made some cool opportunities open up for me. But then at the same time, really steered me down a wrong path with this one healer that I kept tuning in. Like, is this in alignment with me? Is this in my highest good, from in alignment with my true spirit? And I kept getting yes, 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 do it, do it, do it. Well, almost $14,000 later and massive trauma later, whoever the spirit was, completely led me astray. And it wasn't until, and that happened in late 2021 going into early 2022, and then late 22 going into 23, I really learned that that was never a good setup. But that entity, calling themselves Archangel Michael, showed up during my Kundalini, just completely spontaneous Kundalini awakening. So I just, without even vetting it, because it just showed up, and I just automatically gave it the authority role, or the, you know what's going on here, I don't. And I completely let that entity take over my, many big decisions in my life from 2016 to 2022. And it was only when I took my power back, yes, maybe some of the progress I was making was a little slower because I didn't know all the ins and outs of the workings that maybe the way this entity did. But oh my gosh, am I so much more in my own power and really trusting my own intuition even more. It's like life is the creation I'm creating, not a creation the spirit is telling me to. I'm not saying you're getting guidance from the spirit, but I would be very wary of just taking advice from any spirit, even if it is an ascended master or a god or a deity that because a lot of these are matrix programs, matrix constructs. If you're just kind of having a friendship with this spirit, I say that's probably, you're better off than be taking advice or wisdom. But at the same time, it's like there are other entities somehow getting in as a result of your connection with this spirit. So if this is a spirit of, say, a crossed over a loved one or something, of course we want to connect. We want to maintain a relation. Many of us don't, many of us do want to connect or continue that connection, even though that person is passed. Their energy's still alive, their spirit's still alive. So yes, and we still do have connection to that in a way. But a lot of times in the matrix, it's really difficult to discern what exactly it is we're connecting with, even if it looks like, tastes like, feels like, smells like the thing it is. Sometimes it's not the thing it's pretending to be. So I would just say, use every single time that you connect or feel this entity or spirit connecting to you, that you're setting very clear boundaries, that I'm only connecting in alignment with my true, what's in highest good of my true spirit. I've been a bit on guard, especially sometimes when talking out loud. Yeah, it's like you feel, I got chills, yep. And this is not just spirits we're aware of, but spirits that are lurking and, everywhere, that may be like, we feel like we're under surveillance, or like there's a camera on in the room, or someone's watching us. A lot of times that's our intuitive nature picking up the fact that there's something not in our highest good afoot. And I'm not saying the spirit you're connecting with is bad, But I'm saying you being open to connect with one spirit kind of opens the floodgate for all these others to come in and either pretend to be the spirit you're talking to at times, or just, oh wow, it's like you're opening your field up. So something I've been doing, if I do want to get, because I have a best friend that passed away in 2016, right here, John. He passed away, and no, he's not naked. He has pants on, and he's clothed under the blanket. Someone asked me that once. Are they both naked? No, these are my two best friends. But John, right here, he passed away in 2016, and yeah, I was also in massive communication with him from 2016 to 2022, and it was not even him. And that was another grief over the grief I already felt, that I had to then process the loss of, I thought I was talking to him, I thought we were communicating, and it was not even him. An entity pretending to be, a group of entities, or however many entities pretending to be him. So I opened myself up. So now, as of December 2022 through now and in the future, if I want to connect to John's energy, or my grandma, or my grandpa, or I've lost so many friends that have passed away. Anyone I want to connect to for whatever reason. To connect to them, I will go into my own spirit, because if you think about it, if your spirit that you're talking to is a true spirit from the original source creator, not just a matrix construct, but if it is a true spirit, then you connecting to your spirit, it's like taking you're a drop out of the ocean, this spirit's a drop out of the ocean, your friend that passed away is a drop out of the ocean. You separate those drops from the ocean. That doesn't mean they're no longer ocean. And somehow, some way, those drops always find their way back to the ocean. If you actually know how like weather patterns and stuff work, the water will always find its way back. So go through your own drop of intelligence of the ocean to connect to this other drop of the ocean, or the greater ocean as a whole. That's kind of how I've been if I need to connect to, because people always, not always, but a lot of times people will come on here and want to hear from their passed away mother or whatever. And I used to connect directly to, and in a way I do, but again, it's through my own spirit, not through trying to search them out this way. I connect down through my own spirit to connect to their true spirit that way. So that I'm steering clear of all the charlatans and the false light entities and all the things. So that could be a way that if you do want to connect, set your intentions and connect that way. And I know I went on a bit long about it, but I would just say, trust your intuition. If you're feeling that you've been on guard, or, maybe this spirit or entity, because again, I just said that, when I had that awakening, Archangel Michael was just there. And I just asked inside my head, who are you? That's the name I got. So that I just trusted, wow, this archangel is contacting me. Oh my goodness. But the thing I didn't realize is I am part of God. You are part of God. Anyone with a true spirit is part of God, or, some people get triggered by the name God, but, whatever didn't even get created, but has created us, and we are it, right? There's no hierarchy here. No one's above anyone else. So it's not even like we need to bow down and worship anything outside of us or what have you. But even when John, my best friend, came to me, or I thought, I wasn't I was in grief, I was in sadness, and I think about him a lot. But then I started to feel what I thought was his energy. It felt like him. It looked like him energetically. It was him, but yet there was something always slightly, I don't even know how to put it into words. It's like, obviously he's transcended. He's in another state in his true spirit form, right? Anyway, so a lot of the personality that was John fell away when he was returned back to his more spirit part or form, right? A lot of how he showed up as a person in this life was very ego-based. So I had to keep that in mind. Is something off because he's not, whatever. So you can take all the parts of this person you loved and the pure parts of that person, if it is a person that passed away, that still exists. It's all the false and the ego and the traumas and stuff that, ultimately will fall away. But of course, if this spirit is still in this matrix system, all that is still probably in place as well. So it's like level. It's like we could go on to major discussions about we kind of almost have to feel out where is a spirit. And so many of my crossed over loved ones, friends, I feel they're still in this matrix system. And, you know, many of us have been in this matrix system for many lifetimes. Somehow, sometimes we find our way out and then we like want to come back in and help again. Like, I don't know how all that works because I don't have all the answers. I don't know for sure. And I haven't even felt into like some of like life's big questions. I almost feel like us as humans, like we have such a limited, I mean, we can see like 1% of the visible light spectrum. If you feel like, you know, you put it in that context that we've been so dumbed down, you know, in our DNA that we've been suppressed so much that we only see 1% of what's actually going on. I can assume on a consciousness level, us trapped here in the matrix, even after we transcend this physical body, we still don't have all the answers in the matrix. So even us trying to get guidance or answers from, you know, crossed over loved ones, yes, they're still so close at hand. You know, they can see us and sense us and all that, and maybe we can feel and sense them as well too. But if they're still in this matrix system, they don't know much more than you do. And in fact, your best, I guess, guidance to get would be from your true spirit, because it is existing in most part of it outside this matrix system. It's just a very small part of it that's in, or you're in that. It's like, is that in your body or are you in that? I would argue to say that we are within our spirit rather than the spirits within our body. But they've actually weighed people who have died, and they've weighed, I want to say 7 ounces. Don't quote me on the exact amount, but someone weighing like a couple of ounces less after death than they did before. So who knows exactly. But yeah, now I'm going off on tangents, but yeah, it makes sense. Okay, well, I'm glad that helped. Hopefully I didn't confuse anybody further. All right. Yeah, and I really go in and talk about a lot of these topics in a way in the book series I'm writing, because certain people die or have died in the past, and of course people still on Earth want to connect to these people because they miss them and they love them, and might be a driving force all of book 1 and 2, right? You know, and then things go off the rails all the time in my book series. So, of course, it's not out yet, but I'm getting there. I'm working on it. Book 1 is written; it's in the 4th draft, but I'm going, well, half of it's through the 4th draft. I need to finish that 4th draft out from about the midpoint, and then I'm gonna round up some people to read it and give me feedback, and they call those beta readers. So very soon I'm going to be looking for beta readers. I would hope, fingers crossed, I would love to have this going by July. I can really just buckle down and get the rest of book 2 finished and then get back into book 1. I can do it by July. I know I can. Really informative. Brianna's here. She says, yes. Cool. All right. So let's get into Florence's question. I know I went a little long on that, but I felt like I had to explain around what your question was. So hopefully that, yeah, you said it was informative. So, okay, good. All right. So Florence, and I want to see if, usually Florence will post her question. I'm not seeing it yet. Usually she'll post it. Oh, there it is. Okay. And I'm going to timestamp just in case she's not here. So we're at 1:43:23. Florence B. Okay. And of course, we still have our giveaway and our drawing. I keep forgetting to talk about that like early in the live stream. So we still have that going on. All right. So Florence wants a reading on romance for the coming 2 months. All right. Let's tune in. Yes, I will definitely timestamp that for you, my dear. All right. So for Florence, romance reading over the next 2 months. Tuning into Florence's true spirit. What does she need to know? Romance reading in the next 2 months. We have the Tower. Dun, dun, dun. Again, this doesn't have to be all bad. I really do see this as you clearing out like cords, wounds, traumas from old relationships and doing some healing, or better yet, as I like to now call it, peeling away of these past connections, programs, cycles, loops, things that just went on in past relationships that don't need to carry into a future relationship. So at the very least, you're doing some peeling away, or, you know, some like cleaning up of that old energy. And then we have the Judgment card. So as you clear away, it allows more of your true spirit to come in and actually find someone who's in alignment with you. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you will find this person in the next 2 months, but as far as just you tuning in the next 2 months, cleaning house, cutting cords, or as I like to say, better yet, remove those cords. And then where that shadow energy, where those cords used to take up, allow your spirit to now embody that space. Because if you don't embody that space, like we were talking about with the vacant homes, someone else is going to come in and try to occupy that space. So when you clear cords, you know, offload your emotions, all this, then fill that space up with your true spirit so that something else can't come in and see that room is kind of, vacant and just take up residence. So that's kind of a missing piece, I guess, that a lot of this healing and even like quantum healing and stuff doesn't take on or take into consideration is, you cleared all this out. Now you got to fill it up with your spirit or something else is going to come in and take up that space. All right. All right, here we go. What else does Florence need to know about her love life? We have I line in truth and I am humble. Okay, so these are very, they both start with the word I, meaning yourself. So it's almost to me, Florence, and of course, if you have a date or you kind of already are feeling some romance coming your way, please embrace that. But what I'm really getting for these next 2 months is you really almost like dating yourself or loving yourself, nurturing yourself, doing the things that you would hope a partner would, but you're doing them for yourself. And I usually will kind of get this vibe for people before that next great love of your life comes in. So not to say this person's coming in right after this 2 months is over, because this is just kind of the time frame we're tuning into. And of course, this is something that I want to start really stressing here on the channel too, is the more you embody, and I did talk about it in our little kind of, I don't know what we want to call those talks before we get into our readings, but it's about the more of our own spirit we embody, the more free will we'll start to have access to. Because in this matrix, they say we have free will, but do we? I would say a very minuscule amount. Those of us that are conscious, those of us that are still asleep, are very much no free will, very NPC, completely driven by our birth charts, our human designs, our numerology, completely driven. But once you start to see more free will come in, you might start to see that you're operating and showing up in your life in ways that don't align with your birth chart, your numerology, your human design, and your personality type, because your free will, those are like constructs or programs put over your energy when you come in. But the more you embody your spirit, the more you can break loose the chains of those programs or systems, right? So what I'm trying to say, Florence, is if you feel like you've been healing and peeling and dating yourself and loving yourself and you're ready for that romance, bring more of your spirit online and make it happen. So predictions, the things that we're tuning in, and I try to tune in, I set that intention to tune in only to what your true spirit wants you to know about your question, rather than just what the matrix has planned for you. But the more you embody your spirit, the more say and free will that spirit has to inject into the readings I can do for you or you can do for yourself. But the reason tarot works, the reason astrology works, this is in numerology and all this, is because we are so put into boxes and our free will is really dumbed down, throttled down. But if you want something different than what you're seeing here come out, like you want that love to come in tomorrow or next week instead of after your 2-month, whatever, this is kind of, I see like a healing period, kind of a peeling period, allowing more of your spirit to come online. The more you do that, the more free will you have to where maybe predictions aren't working because you're more in the driver's seat of your own energy and your own timelines. And so, yes, readers maybe that are tuning into your true spirit are going to have a more accurate handle on what's going on than just a random pick a card or something. But at the same time, if you are really embodying your free will and you're bringing your spirit online, your spirit will trump anything out there. Anything else Florence needs to know about her love life? I'm just saying that. So yeah, 4 of Cups. So there might even be people that are on your radar, but you're just like, this doesn't feel like an alignment. This doesn't feel. So you might have offers of love or, hey, let's go out. And maybe you do take up those offers, but there's really nothing that's getting your attention over, at least over these next 2 months, time we're tuning into. But she looks very happy to just kind of be in her own presence, and she bought herself I'm hearing that like Miley Cyrus song, I can buy my own flowers. I can hold my own hand. And all of these things are true. Like a lot of these things that we expect partners to do, or, when you're in, especially those early stages of love and the partner's doing this and they're buying you flowers and they're, taking care of all the needs and all the ways. And then, you kind of become complacent, or you're in a relationship and then they kind of stop doing certain things because they were maybe kind of more doing those things just to woo someone, or kind of, and again, these are not like conscious thoughts like, I'm going to buy her flowers so she'll become my bride or whatever. No, these are usually very subconscious. And again, NPC territory, Matrix territory. But it's like the more you break out of these programs, these systems, these matrices, these expectations of what love should look like, or what love has looked like for you in the past, it's like you're really embodying this love for yourself, to where if it came in an external way via a partner, great. But if not, you're not sitting there pining for it. So it's like you're filling your cup of love up with your own love, to where you don't need a partner to do those things. And I'm not saying you do right now, but I'm just saying in the future, you're definitely not going to need a partner to do those things, because you're already doing those things for yourself. So anything a partner would or could or should or whatever do for you in the future is like a cherry on top of what you're already doing for yourself, which is probably the way relationships should be from day one. But we're never taught, so many of us, and it's, of course, those of us that have, been children that are product of a divorce and, just toxic love or whatever, we don't even get a good example of what love should be, because again, we're in this matrix system that hates love. But look what's on the back of the deck. There is love for you. This is also a very self-love card, but at the heart of what you're asking, there is that partnership out there for you. But there's so much that you're doing and learning and growing just within your own energy, that it almost feels like at this time, if a partner did come in, it would almost derail all of that self-centric, not self-centered, but like self-centric work that you're doing, that's going to really put you in alignment with someone who's also doing a lot of their own work and filling up their own cup first. And then when two cups are full and overflowing and they come together, that would probably be like the most magical relationship. So that's what you're like working toward just within your own energy field. Even if love is being offered, maybe you are having a lot of dates, but they're just not hitting, they're just not hitting it the way that maybe the guy's nice, but he really is like humble bragging himself all over the place. Or, the guy's really cool, but like he's too quiet, and you want someone who's lively and can really have a back and forth conversation. There's just, maybe that's almost there, but like there's something just slightly off the mark that you're hoping for in a partner. But again, if you're dating yourself and really filling your cup up, and then you do go on a date here or there, it's not really going to make you feel like you're lacking anything, or like you're less than, or, desperate for a partner or anything like that. You're just embodying your own love and your own light, to where that becomes a very attractive beacon for someone who's also on that level, to where that relationship that you get into next could be like that one great love of a lifetime, where you've both done the work. And yes, relationships still will take work, because all relationships do, not just love relationships, but all relationships. But it's going to feel more in alignment with your spirit, and not just, oh, here we go again, this old wound, that old wound. Because you're peeling those away like right now, to make room in your life for this new love that is already doing their own work, and not expecting to heap that all on you, or you to heap, your needs onto this person. So I hope that resonated. Yeah, it feels to me, if there is romance coming toward you these next 2 months, you're kind of just like, not quite it. But you're really filling up your own cup, and really just working on yourself and clearing the past, accounts and accords of all those old relationships and stuff, to where you're making yourself primed and ready for a great love. Not just I was with that guy for a while, but like it went south. I ignored the red flags going into, like, you're not even gonna have to deal with any of that crap. You're just gonna go in and you're gonna start like learning things about each other and just growing. And it just feels like we've always been in each other's lives. Like, that's so many great relationships that I know of, in my friends and family. They just started almost like we already knew each other, and we'd already just been in alignment and in agreement, and like we just grew from there, like just really beautiful. Because a true like good relationship, good connection is not 1 + 1 = 2. It's 1 + 1 = 3, because you're fully embodied, they're fully embodied, and the two fully embodied come together to make this relationship that is like another presence of just embodiment. So it's like 1 + 1 = 3. I know that sounds weird, but yeah, it's like you, and then the relationship itself creates like a third energy. I don't know. I hope you're picking up what I'm throwing down. You're so welcome, Florence. Absolutely. All right, DW, let's get your next one card read, which are never one card. You guys know me. All right. So next question for DW, and she posted it right here. My grandma, she passed, but we look so much alike. What is the message around that? Okay. So something I've been picking up lately is the DNA is more than we've been told. And of course, we share DNA, parts of their DNA with all our ancestors, not just one or two, but all of them, like are wrapped up in our DNA. And I would even argue, because this is just downloads have been coming to me lately. The reason that certain, entities, not meaning like beings, but like entities meaning like conglomerates, systems that are in place, they call those entities. Did you guys ever wonder why they call like this business or that corporation an entity? Makes you wonder, doesn't it? But I'm talking like certain pharmaceutical entities are pushing certain things that will be messing with the D, N, and the A. Again, I'm trying to say what I would need to say without them coming to hijack my feed. There's been a major push to like almost take over or do something to trip up the D, the N, and the A. But when we incarnate in a family, of course, we share that genetic component. And of course, when you look like somebody, that's like a major resonance there. So I don't know how your relationship was with this grandma, but let's just see as far as, and again, going back to what I was saying about DNA, not only in this life, but like the DNA holds the codes, even with like stuff with your spirit and everything. It's like when you come in like as a spirit, there's like a energy signature with you that then also gets coded in your DNA from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime. And there are a lot of people just that I've done past life readings on and stuff, tuning in, that they've been in their same family line down the road many times, not just one or two, but like they'll incarnate in the same family line multiple times over. There's a reason for that. But let's see specifically. I feel like for your questions, you've got such great questions that I almost feel like I have to kind of explain going into the reading and then during and then after the reading what I'm trying to get to for you. But I know you just asked simple questions both times, but I want you to have the information, at least as I'm trying to bring it through to present to you. So why you look so much like your grandma, what is the message in that for DW? Why she looks so much like her grandma? And correct me if I'm wrong, I'm seeing like female energy. So if you're not a female, you can correct me on that. I don't want to just assume, but all right. Looks so much like grandma. Woo! All right, card flipped and it fell to the ground. Okay. Wow. Queen of Pentacles. And it's interesting because they do say, because she's pregnant here, and they do say, if, especially, of course, if this was your father's mother, that's slightly different message, but just say for the sake of what I'm trying to say here is if you're a mother and you have a daughter and then she has a daughter, technically that grandmother carried also the granddaughter or even the grandson. Anything that comes from a daughter, it can't work if it's a son. Because the ovaries and then the eggs within the ovaries form in utero in the female baby that's in the female mother carrying the baby. And then whatever offspring the daughter has, technically that grandmother has carried those eggs that then became those babies. So there could be that component if it is through the mother's line. Even if it's not through the mother's line, there's a message coming through about your connection to that family line, specifically the ancestry, and even being, wow. So I'm getting that you were actually this grandmother's grandmother. It's whatever side of the family, it doesn't matter. That you were this grandmother that passed away that you look like, you were actually her grandmother and carried her. Wow. Wow. But again, it's like swapping DNA or like going through. And there is this like deeper spiritual connection, not just, oh, we incarnated in the same family line multiple times together, kind of almost piggybacking generations or leapfrogging generations, I should say. But there is this component of like, and again, I know soul being a matrix construct, ego being a matrix construct, but there's such a deep spiritual resonance, meaning just beyond being a soulmate with this grandmother, whether you were close to her or not in this life, or when you were her grandmother in your past life, there is this deep spirit resonance between the two of you. And then temperance, yeah, as above, so below kind of energy of, yeah, it's like I'll pour into your cup, you pour into my cup. Like you do share DNA. It's almost, and don't get this twisted as like the Matrix way they say like twin flames, but it does really feel like there is a shared spirit here, or, very deep soul / spirit family connection here beyond just the genetic component of it. And it's almost like you incarnated looking similar to each other to almost remind yourselves that, hey, this goes much deeper than just surface level. All right. Anything else DW needs to know about why she looks like this grandmother? Yeah, the Hermit. And it is about spiritual up-leveling and evolution, or just waking up deeper to these, aspects of us that have been hidden. And I love that this Hermit is, usually the Hermit's carrying the lantern, so it's like dark, and then the lantern's bringing the light. But it's almost like you don't need anything external to you to remind you of this light, because that grandmother, even though she has passed, her DNA, again, is still very much inside of you, a very integral part of who you are. And the Hermit is about that more spiritual, kind of separating your energy from a lot of other people at times to get clarity. Because when we're mixed up with this person, and we never get a break from these people, and I'm a mother with 2 boys and a husband, and dogs, so like there's always someone up on in my business, up wanting attention, or hey, help me with this, do that. It happens, right? And there are times, like during my work day or on the weekends, sometimes I'll take just a day that I can just recalibrate myself in only my energy. Of course, the dogs are here too, but they're downstairs and I'll go upstairs, just kind of sit in my own energy. So there could also be this reminder on a more spiritual level from this grandmother to, even though you do feel that connection to all these ancestors, to also be in your own energy and see what resonates with you. And if there were certain things this grandmother did or said, or the way she dressed, or just things you didn't agree with, either on a very mundane and easy level, or if there were more, traumas that she suffered that now you feel you're carrying the weight of, it's about you being able to transmute or alchemize any darkness or light, whatever, that comes to you from the family line, and specifically on the family line on the side of this grandmother you look like. Even if it like was generations back, there's some deep trauma that the two of you are kind of leapfrogging through the family line to put an end to, clearing out generational curses, or, oh, this stops with me, I'm not passing this on to my kids. And, even if you don't have children in this life, if you do or don't, it's not like you have to have children for this work to continue. No. It'll still work down the family line, but it might just be a different branch if you decide not to have children, or if you already have children, great, whatever. But this is work you've been piggybacking down, or leapfrogging. I keep saying piggybacking, but leapfrogging is like, I'll leap a generation, you leap a generation, and we're gonna cleanse and clear and bring that spiritual light back in. Even if she had a hard life and didn't seem spiritual, it's kind of beside the point, because just incarnating, it's so hard to be here for so many of us, that sometimes just incarnating, just being here and holding that light, even if it's from a very unconscious level, is bringing that light in. It's still touching down. But when we can wake up within the incarnation and really shine that light, that's when we can get down to business. So there's some big stuff you're clearing out of that genetic line on that side specifically. But because you're a combination of both sides, you're clearing it on both sides every time you incarnate as well. So I hope that resonated, DW. And if you did feel like there was anything intuitively that I didn't hit that maybe you feel like you look like her because of X, Y, or Z, of course, trust your intuition as well. All right. So I don't think we have too many people here anymore because I've gone on and on and on. 2 hours in, guys. But let's do the giveaway. And so if you're new here or haven't participated in the giveaway, let me just tell you, all you got to do is use your intuition or your guess, whatever resonates for you, to decide what tarot card am I pulling out of the deck. What tarot card is this? Just look at the back of it, see if you can get a feel for it. I'm going to narrow it down because it says there's only 2 people here. So it's the Magician. I meant to narrow it down, meaning Major Arcana, and I said the Magician. So who's here? Raise your hand if you're here. You all won because I just spilled the beans. Everybody raise your hand or just say I'm here. That'll let me know you want the reading. I meant to say Major Arcana, but I was looking at Magician as I said it. I want to play this back and see my face when I did that. Okay, you get a reading, you get a reading, you get a reading, everybody. It's like your magic is just slipping out without you meaning it to. That's how powerful you are in this matrix. Look at it. So, okay, Brandy Lynn is here. Anyone else, check on in, and that lets me know you want a reading as well. Amanda F is here as well. Okay. Last call. You have 10 seconds to raise your hand, put an emoji, say hi, whatever. 9, 8, 7, 6. Claim the free reading. Just type anything that's nice. Don't be mean. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Brandy Lynn and Amanda F have won the giveaway. You manifested it without lifting a finger. Aw, you just woke up from your cat nap too. That's great. Oh, chair nap. Love it. I said cat because the heart emoji to like react is right in the way of what I can see on this YouTube studio. And well, there you go. It was for a reason. You literally manifested it right out of thin air. Okay, Brandy Lynn, go ahead and post a question. And Amanda F, go ahead and post a question. And of course, also put a 777 in the chat to be entered into today's giveaway. Sorry, drawing. Always mix those up. I'm going to have to cut maybe a few new. Yeah, we have 2 winners because I spilled the beans and told everybody what the card was. So whoever claimed it in the time frame won the reading. So funny. That's never happened. It's funny because there are times that I'll be like, okay, it is not this. It is, and I'm like, please don't say it, please don't say it, please don't say it. And today I said it. I'm surprised actually this is the first time I've accidentally said the name of the card. It is the Magician. I meant to say Major Arcana, but Magician slipped right on out. So yes. That's magic at play. Magic at play right there. All right, 777. Well, you can still put a 777, and I will enter you in today's drawing, and then we're going to pull a winner. And, of course, Brandy Lynn and Amanda F, go ahead and post questions for the giveaway win, 1-card pull. All right. So, Brandy Lynn, let's get your name down. Actually, I have your name here from last week still sitting, so let's enter that one. Okay, we got that one. And then we have Amanda F and Amber A. Amanda. I should know how to spell that one, right? Amanda F. And I'm gonna show you guys these and put them in the bag together. I just wanted to write them down real quick, and then I'll show you the name before I put it in the bag. But I still have to cut some new strips here, so that's what I'm working on. Anyone else? Last chance to get anyone who puts a 777 between now and the end of the live stream, I will enter you. But you may not win today, so get it in. Get it in if you're here and want to try to win the drawing today. Ooh, that's not a great cut. That was kind of wonky. Oh, well, it still works. Okay. So we got Brandy Lynn, Amanda F, and Amber A so far. All right. Amber A. All right. So now we will unzip. Thank goodness this was zipped because I found it on the floor today when the live stream had already started. All right. I already see an Amber A on the top in this bag right now, but Amber A is going into today's drawing and possibly future drawings. And then now we have Amanda F going in and Brandy Lynn going back in. This is a lucky one because it's already been drawn once, so now it's going back in. Amplify that luck. Okay, here we go. We're really going to mix them and stir them up. All right. Hold up here so you know I'm not cheating. And the winner for today's drawing is this person. Flawless. I think the one and only time I ever saw this person at the live stream was when they entered the giveaway. So I will timestamp for Flawless. And hopefully they see it. Hopefully they see it. Okay. Alrighty. So you did narrow it down significantly, right? I should have made you guys guess from there. Okay, it's the Magician. What do you guys think it is? So funny. Oh my gosh. All right. So Brandy Lynn wants to expand on the one card pull of the Knight of Wands. Yes, let's do it. And then we're going to get into Amanda's one card pull for her giveaway win. I always want to call it the drawing, the giveaway, and the giveaway, the drawing. Why do I do that? It's a 50-50 chance to get it right, and I get it wrong every time. All right. So let's expand on the one card pull, tuning into Brandy Lynn's true spirit for the Knight of Wands. Well, we got the Three of Wands. So you're definitely, okay, so the Knight of Wands is about, yes, you're going to know intuitively how to move forward in, and I'm not just seeing, because I know that's a very spiritual or even creative energy with the Wands. I'm not just seeing in your creative projects. I'm seeing in life in general. With that Knight of Wands, it's forward momentum. And, you know, Knight of Wands, it's more Sword of Wands. Knight of Swords, that's kind of like making it up as it goes along. It's like I'm touching flowers. It's like I'm already going. I got that initial spark of an idea, and now I'm going on it, and I'm already in motion, and I'll just kind of pants my way through life, you know, for lack of a better example, or my project or whatever it is, you know, flying by the seat of my pants. But with this Knight of Wands that you got earlier, and then now combining that with the Three of Wands, this is about having a bit of a plan and being able to at least be 3 steps ahead of yourself, to where as you're already going along the way, you can get those next 3 steps and then the next 3 steps. So it's like, and I just heard 1 step forward, 3 steps back, but now it's in reverse. And I just heard, was it the cha-cha slide? Like reverse. So what I'm seeing is where it was at one point 1 step forward, 3 steps back. And this is in life in general, especially if something that's been really difficult or challenging the last at least 5 years for you, where it's been 1 step forward, 3 steps back in certain things. And I just saw your son. So I don't know if this is specifically about him or he's just involved in some way. Not that I know what your son looks like, but like intuitively I saw like your child. So something to do with him or something he's involved with the family, where it was once 1 step forward, 3 steps back. Now it's in reverse. 3 steps forward and then 1 step back. So you're still 2 steps ahead of the game every time you take a step with something regarding your son. So yeah. And I just heard good things come in 3s as well. So there might be 3 really good things coming up having to do with him, specifically with him. But anything else that Brandy Lynn needs to know in general with that Knight of Wands and then now the Three of Wands. And we have here 2 that want to come out. So Hierophant and Queen of Pentacles. So Hierophant is that traditional way of doing things, about signing contracts. And it's interesting because I know the traditional Hierophant has his like this as well. But I'm almost reading her going like, like, let's not do it that way. So it's almost like, again, reverse. We're not doing things the traditional way. We're doing things the way Mama says. So Mama, meaning Brandy Lynn, intuitively. And she's very intuitive, but not in that like Queen of Cups kind of way, but in a more, I'm in deep connection with my own body, with the world, with the earth. It's like, I always call her the MacGyver of the deck, meaning she's going to take the resources that she already has available without having to go out and spend any money or, you know, have these fancy aesthetics. No, she's doing it her way with what the resources she already has. And it's almost like, think of it this way. Planting a seed will then turn into a seedling, will then turn into a plant, will then produce fruit or vegetables or herbs or what have you that you can then harvest. So it's almost like you take the resources you already have, Brandy Lynn, regarding your son and just maybe even the family in general. You take the resources you already have, and they're almost acting as seeds that you're planting, and the resources you already have, you're MacGyvering that in tandem with Mother Earth herself to create something that looks so much different than just the seed you started with. I hope that makes sense. And this, even now, I'm getting a hit of like a download of an idea of a seed of an idea you have also now going into your creative project. So, and this actually feels like it's not solidly in the project you're currently working in, but this is like a different, like once, and if you're anything like me, you've got a list of things that once I'm done with this series, I'm going to start working on this and then this and then this. Unlimited. So this to me feels like it's a side project or something that has maybe initially nothing to do with your project, but it could be similar to Project Cult in my book, my story world, that initially I thought, well, this is just kind of a companion. I mean, the only thing that it has in common with my series is the fact that there's one character that's an older, in my main series, she's now older, it's 20 years after the initial whatever. But now it's very integral, where I thought it was just kind of a side plot or, side project, whatever, is now very integral to books 3, 4, and going into 5 now 5. So I hope that made sense. And if it doesn't make sense yet, it will eventually, I hope. Wow. Cool. Yeah, Mercury retrograde. Yeah, sounds wonderful. All right. So, third time's a charm. Oh, did I say that at some point? Because I'm just now seeing that. I feel like, or third time's the charm? Did I say that during your reading? I know I said 1 step forward, 3 steps back, and then reverse. I don't know. Maybe I didn't say that. For some reason, it seems very relevant. Oh, I see a 777. Let's add Jessica Lynn, and then we're going to get into Amanda F's question. So funny. Jessica Lynn. All right. We already did our drawing and our giveaway and stuff today, but I will still honor that and enter you right on in for a future date. Boom. There we go. Yeah. Oh, good things come in threes. Well, okay. Third time's a charm. Good things come in threes. Okay. It's the 3. That's what threw me off. Again, Mercury retrograde. Confusing me all up in here. Good things come in threes. Okay. So yeah, 3 really good things coming for you. And maybe it is the third time's the charm. And that's why I'm like, I thought I said something like that. That maybe you've tried to make something happen in this, whatever the good things come in threes is. And the first 2 times you tried it, it didn't quite hit, didn't quite land. And now this third time you're hitting it. And it's like, ding, 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 we finally have a winner. All right. So for Amanda F, tuning into Amanda F's true spirit. Should I get a job or start getting the house ready to sell? Okay. I just heard, why can't you do both? Why can't you do both? As far as your main focus, though, what should be the main focus for Amanda F at this time? We'll pull a card for, should she get a job as main focus, or should she get the house ready to sell as main focus? So we'll pull kind of a card on each and kind of get into it from there. So should she get a job, main focus, or should main focus be getting the house ready to sell? Okay. So as far as getting a job being main focus, the card we have here is the King of Wands. This is about you taking things into your own hands. And I would say if you're looking to get a job, this is a great card to get because you're looking like a great you're top of the heap as far as the pile of applicants. You would definitely get a job that feels something that you are in control of your schedule, or this could even be like a work from home situation, kind of like I have a your cake and eat it too, where you're being able to work from home and also get the house ready to sell almost at the same time. But let's get the card for getting the house ready to sell. Ace of Cups, that's a big yes. It's going to emotionally fulfill you to get the job. Sorry, to get the house ready, but I said get the job. So again, why can't you do both? These are both great cards. So it's almost like if you need to get that house sold, of course, prioritize that. But a lot of times we still got to eat. We still got to pay those bills, right? So the job. So they almost feel weighted equally to me as far as what is the big priority. But I would say If you have another income, like a spouse or, someone that can kind of pick up the leeway while you get the house ready to sell, that might be your best bet. But if you really are needing that income, I would say to ease and have that peace of mind, ease the stress, to be able to work and work on the house to get it ready to sell kind of in tandem. Um, or even starting like a part-time situation initially so that will allow you time to work on getting the house ready to sell. But let's pull a third card just to see general advice regarding this. Oh, I just clicked something. I don't want to close my browser. No, thank you. Kind of still doing it right here, right now in the live stream. All right. General guidance advice on Amanda's question. Tuning into her true spirit. The Emperor. Yeah. And I always call him like the higher octave of the King of Wands. So you really are being guided. If you're needing the money, then yes, go the route of, getting that job. But if, let's see, may need to leave the area and then would need to quit. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, but if you already have a job that's kind of doing its thing, I would say if it's not fulfilling you though, it might be time to look for that new job. But if you're kind of currently unemployed and you have time to be able to devote to whatever, but money would be good to have right now, then yeah, get that job. But if you are, because ultimately the Emperor is about success. So whatever you're intuitively led to do, be it get the house ready to sell or get the job or do both in tandem, whatever you're intuitively led to do, you're going to make the right choice because we have success underlying this card. It's about taking control of the situation, be it get a job or get the house ready or both. Kind of, okay, after work, I'm going to work on, getting this cleaned up and painting that and fixing that. You can make time for both. Of course, the Emperor is very hardworking. He's almost like workaholic energy at times. So you would have to balance out, because working on the home, you got the Ace of Cups, which is like a self-care. So balance out working on the home and your self-care. So don't just spend all your time at home working on the house to get it ready to sell, but also take some time off. And I know it sounds counterproductive, especially if you feel like you're on some sort of deadline to get things done so you can get it sold. If you're going to burn yourself out in 3 weeks, just working on the house, and maybe working a job, that's not going to benefit you in the long run. But maybe you're taking a little longer to get the house ready, but divine timing is at play and it aligns you with the perfect buyer and you took care of yourself the whole time. So it's about doing what you're intuitively led to do. Even if it feels like the clock is working against you or those bills are still coming in and you don't have a job yet, do what you're intuitively led to do because you know better than whatever this matrix is trying to present you with. And those opportunities will start to come in when the time is right. Yeah. All right. Closing argument, closing statement. Anything else Amanda needs to know about the situation? Jumped. Here we are. 4 of Wands. Well, there's you having a home. So if you're trying to sell a home, you're going to be able to also then turn around and buy a home. Or if you've already bought a home, you're going to be able to sell the home to pay for the new home you just bought already. But this also could be signing a contract, which could be signing a new work contract. This is also like marriage or combining families or like a mixed household situation, someone moving in, something like that. But this is happiness. At the root, the heart of this card, it's about happiness. And at the root, the heart of the Emperor, it's about success. So you'll find success and be happy, and you'll be happy, and then you'll find success. But you ignoring your self-care along the way is not going to promote much happiness. It might get you success, but it's not going to bring happiness. So it's about finding the balance between all of it. Oh, you're so welcome. Absolutely. Yeah, you got this. So just follow your intuition. If you're really feeling called, again, you want to do all the things. I sign me up. I want to be able to work on my candle stuff and be live and work on my books and get my house all decluttered and purged and reorganized. Like I want to do all the things and read all these books. I have a list of books, a big stack of books from the library, like 50 books. Not that many, but so the stack from the library, I have about 15 books, and then I have about 50 other books that I have on hold on my audiobook app. So that's where my 50 comes in. So yes, I have like 50 books that I want to read all of them right now. But we know how time works in this realm. We can multitask, sure, but dot, dot, dot. It's about taking care of ourselves and doing a little bit of this and maybe really going all in on this on one day, but then the next day we feel really good to go in on all this other stuff. So it's about tuning into our intuition. And yes, bills need paid, houses need sold. All these things are kind of like clocks ticking in the background of our life, but also don't forget to do the things that you want to do, not just the things you know you have to do, but also balancing all that have to with I want to, I want to, I want to. All right, so I hope that resonated. All right, so that's it for today, you guys. I hope you had fun. I know I always have fun here with you guys. You guys are just the light of my day. I love it. I will be back Friday. Just that's like my plan anyway. You know, things can always, I can get a migraine or something happens, but my big plan is to be here Friday, and we will get into like NPCs and kind of the turn of the, I would say from like about 1830, the year 1830 through about 1920, there was something weird going on, which we're going to get into, which created a lot of what I know, like I call like empty seaters, meaning lights are on, no one's home, or NPCs or whatever we want to call them. But there's no denying that the population exploded between the turn of the century from 1800s into 1900s. So that the 19th century into the 20th century, the turn of those centuries, and then up till now, the population has exploded. That's not a natural occurrence. And we're going to get into why and how and who and what. I don't have all the answers, but I'm going to at least present some questions and maybe we can even kind of read on why certain things appear certain ways and why this was going on and that was going on, and just get us kind of wondering why is this like that. To me, it feels like a really fun topic. Not fun like the fact that certain things happen, but just to tune in and be like, what really went down. And people, you will look again anywhere between 1890s through like the 19 teens years. All these like horse and cart and people digging buildings out and heaps of dirt. But the buildings go down, 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 down. And they're being dug out. Why? And why do we not talk about this? And it's not just in one area or another. It's worldwide during the same time frame. If you want to get a jump on what we're going to be talking about, you can look into mud floods, something called Tartaria. You can look into orphan trains and incubator babies. We're going there. We're going there on Friday. All right, you guys. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Thanks again so much for all those likes, comments, shares, subscribes, donations, and all the things. And I really, truly do hope to see each and every one of you right back here at Harmony Portal Tarot Live. Much love and happy Wednesday. Bye.